Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-639-8620. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car. And as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-639-8620. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-639-8620. That's 1-800-639-8620.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Good morning, Fan Run Nation. Closing in on another weekend, except this weekend is a weekend with football. Tick, tick, tick. Yes, sir. We'll continue to preview football today as we look at another one of the Vols' most significant regular season opponents when we preview the Oklahoma Sooners. That very proud OU program hit a massive speed bump last season, finishing 6-7. And by all accounts, they're throwing every resource they can at the wall to return to relevancy this season. Hire a general manager, check. Get a new offensive coordinator, check. Mine the transfer portal for some of the best assets out there, check. Head coach calling the defensive plays, yep. Thing is, Oklahoma faces a lot of tough teams, and they need to win at least 8 of their games to keep the donors and the administration from blowing it all up at season's end. We'll talk Sooner football as we continue our two-a-day coverage in hour 2. Before that, though, we'll talk some Vol football and basketball as the Hoopers had their last summer workout yesterday. We'll visit with Ryan Silvia from Rocky Top Insider, who heard from some of Tennessee's most anticipated freshmen yesterday, including the French basket. And we'll give you his take on what was discussed, along with some thoughts on Joey Aguilar, who continues to endear himself to his teammates and Vol Nation more and more. That happens in hour 1. Also, got a new streaming app today. The big, much hyped ESPN app is out there. If you want to drop $30, you can get to it. We'll talk about that and what it all means. It's all happening on today's edition of Under Review. Let's get it going, people, right now.
From the studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, it's time for Under Review with Bob Baskerville on Fan Run Radio.
Welcome, people. It is Thursday. Just another day closer, man. The weekend's in front of us. We are only 2 days until week 0, where we'll see college football. We're only 9 days away from football time in Tennessee, and only 2 weeks from this moment. Well, tonight, 2 weeks from tonight, NFL regular season football kicks off. Getting closer, folks. Just hang on for the ride. We are coming to you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer studios of Fan Run Radio. This is Under Review. I'm your host, Bob Baskerville, joined as always by Sam Beard. Got Brett Hollander in the production booth today, keeping us on point. And you, the listener, always appreciate you spending time with us and supporting us no matter how you do it, whether you're listening to us live on the radio dial, AM 1340, FM 105.7, maybe a live stream on fanrunradio.com. Maybe you stream us live on your mobile device using the free Fan Run mobile app. Maybe you podcast us later in the day or tomorrow or tonight, whatever. That's all good. We're available wherever you find your podcasts or listen to them. We're also on Fan Run TV on YouTube. If you're watching that, what up? We're also over on X. You can watch us on X. You can interact with us on X at Fox Sports Knox. Moral to the story, no matter how you support the brand, how you consume our content, whether it's any of the shows, not just Under Review, but all the shows at Fan Run, we can't thank you enough. You can also be a part of the program on a live basis. You can call or text us at area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. Like I said, hit us up on X too if you'd like, if that's easier, at Fox Sports Knox. Boys, getting closer and closer. We're in single-digit days now till football time in Tennessee. Now we're counting hours till when we can watch college football. It's like 50 hours from now, Sam. It's that close. It is that close. I am there for it. Got high school football starting tonight, regular season games kicking off. Some big battles starting tomorrow night for sure. So a lot to cover. Let's say hello to the gang. Sam Beard, how are you, man?
Doing great, Bob. 2 days, 2 hours, 52 minutes, 12, 11, 10, 9. We're close.
Sure.
We're really, really close. Started like looking at spreads and everything for week 0 games this weekend. Just feels good. Got 2 episodes under my belt of the Cowboys documentary.
What do you think?
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It kind of, I hate that it's making me like Jerry Jones a little bit.
I know.
But like, I mean, you got to respect the guy. Just kind of put it all out on the line and said, screw it. I'm going to risk my whole family's net worth basically. And I'm going to bet on this oil rig to, produce $100 million for me. Like those first 2 minutes were electric of it. I saw that clip on social media, but just like officially turning on the episode, and he's just like, that thing started spitting, and then it was humming from there. And I had $100 million, and I told myself, Jerry, you just bought yourself the Dallas Cowboys. And then he's just like, yep, I have no idea how to run an NFL franchise either. We're going to figure it out on the way. So, it was fun to watch that. And then I don't know if this has been populating your social media feed as much as mine, but I'm laughing a lot at these adult football leagues. It's like these 37U and like 40U adult football leagues where they're just like in pads and they're passionate about what they do, man. These guys are like getting emotional after winning back-to-back championships or something, playing old man football. You can never get rid of the itch to go play, I guess. And these 37-year-old men that definitely are just showing up to work the next day.
That little running back, he
No.
got crushed. He looks like, but he got just leveled. I think Bart's a little fast, dude, but he got blown up. And once he got in the secondary, because he's lost his peripheral vision, and he just gets laid out.
I think this is gonna have to be like our next, our next Netflix documentary, our next Last Chance U.
Gotta be.
I haven't seen it. This is the first I've heard of it, honestly.
Really?
So now, but I'm intrigued. I got to check it out.
Yeah.
There was one guy chirping on the sidelines. He has like a Saints jersey on, Ravens pants. He's got different gloves.
And
I mean, he's just
Some guy
chirping.
had like the bandana on, like he's prime time. You know,
So this
Yeah.
is just strictly recreational. Right?
oh, strictly recreational. Like,
reliving the glory days.
yeah, just a bunch of men that are having to show up at the office at 8 a.m. the next day with just real football injuries,
Yeah.
concussions, probably.
My brother-in-law, who's similar in age to me. I mean, just up until recently, he was playing up in the Northeast hockey.
I feel like that is a little bit more common.
Yeah.
But
Football?
I mean,
Like a beer league, right? That's what
Yeah.
they call it or
yeah,
whatever.
but I mean, you can.
Are they hitting and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not full on, but they do hit. They check, and they. I mean,
we got a Masters division. I play soccer in on Wednesday nights downtown. It's 40 plus, and we're out there chirping.
Yeah,
We're not getting around like we used to, but it's still your competitiveness comes out. You don't want to lose it.
no.
These are grown men that are
Yeah.
like crying, and he said, "God's been good to me. Congrats, Broncos, 3-peat champs." And he's like getting emotional walking off the field. I don't think we've got any,
No.
beer league hockey or
Yeah.
adult
Yeah,
soccer league
I
that are
agree.
doing that.
I gotta find that.
Halftime speeches and everything.
Really?
You got to look it up.
Coaches,
It's hysterical
I mean,
to me.
yeah.
Where are they playing? I mean, they must be getting like school fields.
Like a Pop Warner field.
I
Like
got
they
refs
probably
out there. They got it all.
they probably have a 6-year-old walk off the field, and it's like, all right, you got to get off quick, guys. The 37U team's coming on.
Wow. That's crazy.
Kids probably up there crying for their dad.
Yeah.
Like dad's probably cussing. Like, Dad, I don't know you anymore.
It needs to be a TV show. That's all I know.
Back to the Cowboys thing. I didn't get a chance to watch last night, so I'm still only one episode in. But how about I loved like the beginning, that music when they show them all kind of sitting down and for their camera shots, and then how they ended episode 1 where they're transitioning to the Troy Aikman era.
Yeah.
And all they do is they're talking about drafting this quarterback, and then they take a shot of him in current day, just sitting down and just looking at the camera, and that's it. And then
It was a very abrupt end.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, episode 2 starting. Okay.
yeah, they just go to the credits, and I mean, I'm in. I don't think I was at my fantasy football draft last night.
How'd that go?
I'll fill you in a second.
Okay.
Got a guy you like.
Let's go.
Cam.
Slid Rid.
I got Cam.
Let's go, Bob. Let's go.
Got to keep in mind I have Burrow already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's just kind of
Just a
experimenting
stopgap
for the
type of
backup.
guy.
But what was I going to say? We were talking about. Somebody last night at the draft was saying that they think there's only 4 episodes of this.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I
I thought
haven't.
there was 8.
I think it's 8. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
think
After what
remember
I
seeing on
saw.
I haven't seen any of it, but I think I saw where it said it was 8.
Well, I'm down for it, man. Brett, you'll love it. You got to check it out. It's worth watching. My wife's going to be out of town this weekend, so I have an idea what I'll be
You're just going
doing.
to sit on the couch and,
Watch a little football, then watch a
Yeah.
little of that.
yeah.
It's going to be good.
Tour championship
Yeah.
golf
God, yeah.
starts this afternoon, morning, I guess.
Scotty Scheffler's
Scotty
just the man,
Invitational.
man. He was like, I was listening to some of his
Yeah.
press conference, and he was like, I hate the Tiger comparisons. He's like, I'm never going to be anywhere close.
He
to
loves
that
the
guy.
fact
He's just so humble.
And he loves the fact there's no lead going into it. He
Mhm.
likes being mano a mano. Everybody starts even, and may the best man win.
I never understood that.
I never
format.
understood.
Why would you give the best guy? I almost feel like it should be the opposite. The worst guys in the field should have a little bit of a leg up, and then
Somebody drew it out as a match play
I've
or
seen that.
championship, and
I've
that'd
seen
be
that.
kind of cool. Like,
Mhm.
do something like that as well.
I'd be in for match play.
I have to think, he talks about the Tiger comparisons. We've talked about them. It's really tough to compare them. There are some through lines, though. I'm sitting there thinking, if you're like last weekend, if you're Bobby Bagpipes on Sunday
Mhm.
and you're paired with him, with Scheffler, I'm sorry, man. Just his presence has
Yeah.
to get in your head a little bit, right? Just like it did with Tiger and all these other players.
That's exactly what Scheffler said. Like in his answer, he was like, "I've only played 1 round of professional golf with Tiger ever, and we were just sitting there like tied for 20th, just kind of slapping it around, and I was kind of joking around on the first hole, and then he was like, we got up to the green, and that he was just locked in as if it was like a putt to win the tournament, like an up and down to win the tournament. He's like, he's like, I've only played 1 round of golf with the guy in my career, but I've learned so much from that, just like that one day.
Yeah. I just think there's no other golfer. that kind of instills that tension.
Yeah, the fear.
Yeah, the fear for whoever you're, matched
I guess
up
they
against.
they are different in different ways. Like Tiger had that presence, but Scotty's just so consistent. The way he hits fairways, hits greens, like he doesn't make a mistake. Like Tiger might make a mistake on the course, but he was so good getting up and down, scrambling. But just his physicalness, and I don't know if that makes sense. They're two different intimidations.
No, you're right. He,
Tiger was the first guy that could hit it a mile.
Tiger had theatrics and everything else
Yeah.
too. Scotty's like a silent killer, man. He just
And there's no fist pumping.
No.
Things like that too.
The only time he did it, what was it? Was it what was the
Oh,
one
and
he
his
did
buddy.
with Tom Kim?
Yeah.
In the President's Cup. where he's like,
President.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. That's because
I think we're gonna get some of that in the Ryder Cup from Scotty. That was his whole before he kind of got Ted Scott on the back. He was like a fiery guy who couldn't really control his emotions all that well.
really.
Yeah.
Well, he's got it in control now. I'll tell you.
Scheffler's been world number 1 for 118 straight weeks. To break Tiger's all-time record, he needs to hold the spot until Halloween of 2028.
Gosh, that's incredible. That's incredible.
But you have to compare the two. Like, there's nobody you can
Yeah.
compare Scotty to right
Yeah.
now in the game right now. Like Sam said, he's so far ahead in number 2 right now in the world rankings and different things like that. And nobody's stepping to the plate to challenge him. Tiger had a couple of guys, but I don't know. Scotty's just crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, who'd we draft last night, Bob?
Oh yeah. So fantasy football draft. This is a good tee up because we got the fan run one a week from today.
Get warm up in.
Yeah, and this is a league I run, and we've been together for a long time. So it's the same guys, and it's always fun. You just give each other a lot of grief. And, it took us 25 minutes before we even started the draft, just because we were talking through the rules a little bit. We had to talk about the Travis Hunter thing. Like, how does he apply to the league rules? Is it strictly as an offensive player?
You have a defensive thing
We
in that league?
have a defense in special teams spot, but not an IDP or
I
an
got you.
individual
Yeah.
player.
Have you ever done that? I've always wanted to do an individual defensive play.
I think I've
not.
done it once.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
I went back and looked in my scoring system with CBSSports.com, and it works out that they would only treat him like an offensive player anyway. So that was fine. But we had to talk about that. But everybody was talking smack and just, it's fun. That's the funnest part of it. And then you got to get to the draft. And it's an auction draft. So I'm not gonna lie, it's tough when I'm trying to also build my own team and I'm running the auction on players, and sometimes you get a little grief, like, you do the going once, twice, and sometimes like, that was fast. What was that about? It's like,
Get on board, man. You got to lock in.
I'm not a professional auctioneer.
Yeah.
Like a
man.
draft would take a lot longer doing it that way.
We got it done in about 3 hours. So it's not much different, honestly. I think some
But
of
are you
it
doing
is-
it through a computer? Or are you doing it manually? Like you're posting the guy on the board?
We're not posting it on the board. I give everybody roster sheets for each team,
Gotcha.
including who's been added, because it's
Yeah.
a keeper league.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have the names already who are on there. You have the amount of money you have left. And then
Pencil it in.
I was
and
just
then
wondering if there's a timer or you're having to do it. Hey, you get
Nah,
a minute to make your pick. Like, let's go
No,
with this.
that'd be smart, but we just kind of, and everybody's pretty good
Fair
about it.
Yeah.
And you get one timeout and you get one pass throughout the whole draft. So if
Gotcha.
you hit a real wall, you can do something,
Yeah.
but you got to use it, your timeout. But it goes about 3 hours. I don't think, unless you do an automated draft, that goes quicker, of course, but and we took a break like halfway through it for about 10 minutes and, so, but it was fun. I don't know if I like my team. I have Joe Burrow. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I protected those guys. Tony Pollard, protected him. Those were my 3 guys. I picked up Josh Jacobs.
Nice.
Pretty nice. Jonathan Taylor.
Nice.
So I feel like I've got a
Got some
pretty
good running backs.
pretty
That's a good
loaded
running back.
backfield. Receivers, I got smoked. I didn't. My best receiver besides St. Brown is Cortland Sutton.
I think he could have
And
a big year.
and I got him cheaply, but Steph Diggs. I was like, take a shot at him. Why not? He's a head case, but I didn't pay a whole lot of money for him, so I was like, I'll give it a whirl. Got Tyler Warren at tight end,
Okay.
so I'm happy about that.
All right.
Backed him up with Dalton Kincaid, who I think could have a big year at Buffalo. Backup quarterback, Cam Ward. What was that?
That's the Cam
That's
Ward.
his celly, Bob.
ghost.
You got to start doing that
Okay.
after he throws a touchdown pass.
He didn't wear the red cleats, by the way, that last game.
He didn't. Yeah.
I like that.
I wonder if it's maybe going to be like a home thing. The red cleats or something like that. I don't know.
But people wanted Cam Ward. I mean, I didn't have to spend a bunch of money on him, but there were a couple of people like, man, I think he's going to be good. You know, it's like, I think he's going to be good too. I just hope he's got enough weapons.
Yeah.
To be good.
Yeah. That would be my worry, just fantasy wise. Like, is he going to have enough around him to be that guy?
Ridley went, somebody spent some money on Ridley, which I think is probably a good bet. Feels like those two are going to hook up. Nobody, it's only a 10-team league, so nobody took Gunnar Helm.
Did you try and get Egbuka?
I did, and surprisingly, other people were on to it. He went for about $11-12, which is overpriced in this scheme of things. The last thing I'll say, because listeners are like, I could care less about any of this, but this one, there were a lot of available players, like big name players, and it does make me rethink the auction thing. It's a lot of fun, and you can essentially, in theory, you can go out and get whoever you want, which is different than a snake draft because you're at the whims of whoever's picking in front of you. But last night, man, there were like Jamar Chase went for $72.
Wow.
Justin Jefferson went for less, which stands to reason because the quarterback situation's a little more iffy there. He went for like 60. But I mean, Ashton Genty went for $61, and this guy hasn't even played a down in the NFL. And I mean, he's going to be good, but it just, if you go and look at some of these other auction value leagues, players are not going for that. It's kind of like, I think our salary cap must be too much or something. This is getting absurd. So it was fun though. It was fun and got a little bit of prep work in, so to speak, for next week.
There we go.
The fan
you
run.
got a problem with your quarterbacks, Bob. They have the same bye week.
I know that. Yeah, I saw that.
I was looking to see who Cam Ward might play during, because you're going to start Burrow every week, obviously.
Right. But it's week 10. I'm taking a flyer on Cam. It's like if he gets going, then by week,
trade him for a little wide receiver maybe or something.
Or by week 10, I'll just get a different backup. There's still quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
That's the way it always goes. So, yeah, but I saw that.
Daniel Jones always on waivers there. Come on.
There's some dude who
Williams.
In our league, again, I don't know what he was thinking. I pay real close attention to the bye weeks by and large.
Yeah.
There was some guy, and I forget who he has now, but he has like 3 really good running backs, and they were all week 8 buys. It's like, and the guy finally said, if you looked at his roster, he was like, I'm of the mind that I'm just gonna succeed.
Just punting on week 8. Yeah. Honestly, I do that sometimes in my leagues as well.
Yeah. Just like
if you get a good enough team and like you can get some good enough players that all have that same bye, it's like, you get hurt for 1 week, but it's going to look real nice for the others if they stay healthy.
That's right. So anyway, though, a lot of fun. Went late, got home about 11:30. So went to bed pretty quickly and got some sleep. Here we are. We got things to talk about today. Tennessee basketball had a workout yesterday. It's their final summer practice. And they had a media availability, namely a couple of the freshmen, Nate Ament and also Clarence Masamba. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some things Joey Aguilar said yesterday, which made me like him even a little more. Made me think, man, I hope this guy does well, because if he does, then we won. We won in the Nico Exodus. But time will tell on that. We're going to talk about all that with Ryan Silvia from Rocky Top Insider. He's going to join us in a moment. We'll preview Oklahoma football in hour 2. Really polarizing team, man, depending upon who you talk to. A lot of people think they're going to be a dark horse, maybe a playoff contender. Others are like, man, I'm not sure they can. Their schedule's pretty tough. I'm not sure they can go better than 7-5, which means probably Brent Venables might be on his way out if they, I'd say anything less than 8-4. The drum beats will be loud. So we're going to preview Oklahoma. We're going to talk about this new ESPN app that launched today, and talk about, again, to be clear, what it means for everybody, and also what's going on with MLB media rights, because there's a lot happening there too. We'll get to all of that throughout the show. But first, topic A today, little recap on Tennessee basketball, and talk about football with Ryan Silvia from Rocky Top Insider. We'll get to that right after this. Stick around. You're listening to Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Take Fan Run Radio with you on the all-new Fan Run app. Just search for Fan Run Radio wherever you download your apps.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Look out, East Tennessee. It's The Chase, right here on Fan Run Radio and Fox Sports Knoxville. Join me, Tennessee sports renaissance man, Chase Thomas, and the biggest rising stars in Tennessee sports media like Ryan Shumpert, Ethan Stone, Ryan Silvia, Caleb Jarreau, William Pattison, and so many more folks every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. on WKGN's newest show, where we talk all things Tennessee Vols and always take your calls.
Citizens National Bank.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the CNB Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at CNB has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
But we'll talk a little Tennessee basketball because they're wrapping up their summer practice. They start to head into their actual preseason mode, if you will. But they also made themselves, at least some of the members of the team made themselves available to the media yesterday. We got to hear a little bit from Nate Ament. Still struggling with that pronunciation, Sam. It's very polarizing. Maybe we'll ask Ryan about it here in a minute. Also, Clarence Massamba, a.k.a. the French Basket. He spoke a little bit. Heard from Justin Gainey, too. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that, a little bit of football, all of that. We're fortunate to be joined by Rocky Top Insider's own Ryan Silvia, who was at the media availability yesterday. Ryan, thanks for hopping on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. I just got off the pickleball courts with RTI's Ryan Shumpert, and unfortunately, he had my number today. So I'm feeling a little down about that. He admitted afterwards. He said, Ryan Silvia, you are a definitively better pickleball player than me, but the conditioning got to me today, and he kind of whooped me. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm good in one sense, but not feeling good because I let Shumpert beat me today.
We got to figure this out because I know you guys played golf last week, and we talked with Shump at the beginning of the week, and he was saying, "Yeah, I won, but Silvia can just clock the ball as far as being a hitter on the golf course." So now, we keep hearing from you that you're on the wrong end of the outcome against Shumpert, but Shumpert's saying in a lot of ways you're better than him.
We got to find an activity for you to just thump Ryan in.
Yeah. So I can definitely hit the golf ball a decent amount further than Shumpert, but it just is not straight, and he will beat me by 10 to 20 strokes every single time. This is, I think, the first time he's got me at pickleball, though. I usually do have him at pickleball. However, the day before, yesterday, right after they got a ping pong table in that room that we do the basketball pressers in, for the players and stuff. But no one's in there. Get a couple games in, and Shumpert, he is unbelievable at ping pong compared to me. So he always beats me at ping pong. He will always beat me at golf. Today was an exception, though. I do have him. I will firmly say I do have his number in pickleball. Today was an upset.
I see. I'm a little stunned by all this because Shump's got some nerd vibes to me sometimes, and I love him, obviously, but I'm starting to hear he's like pretty good in some stuff. Mike Wilson told me he's got a good looking jump shot too.
It's not bad. It'll get the job done. I think I need to start running like Oklahoma drills with him though, and really put him in place.
Get him in like a pool or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Something.
That's it. Okay, so you were covering the basketball presser yesterday, so it kind of is marking the end of summer workouts, correct?
Yeah, they wrapped up that session. So Clarence Masamba, French guard, he came in. He got here on Saturday, so he hasn't practiced with the team yet because they're not in practice activities. But it's right around the corner, so they're just kind of in that small gap where they're not allowed to do the team activities. And then pretty soon they'll start ramping back up with everyone but Ethan Berg, who will be a little bit later to join the team out of Israel. But besides that, they have everyone on campus now, and they're right around the corner from really getting to like the real preseason type of stuff.
Okay, and then we'll dig into real questions, but you might have heard me in the intro. I have gone back and forth on, I'll just call him Nate for the minute. I've gone back and forth on Nate's pronunciation of his last name. So what say you? Is it Ament? Is it Ament? What do you think?
Nate says it is Ament with the hard A, if that's even correct, but Ament. Which I thought was Ament. I feel like that rolls off the tongue a little better, but that's what Nate says. It's Ament, and then apparently it is. He's going to go by Ethan Berg instead of Etonberg, which is maybe how you actually pronounce it. But he's being nice to all of us East Tennesseans and going by Ethan Berg, at least to start his career.
Nice. All right, well let's get into it then. So so yesterday you heard from the two freshmen. The one that struck me, and it's funny because it tracks with what we heard. We had Rick Barnes on, I guess maybe about a month ago. It was right after we got back from 4th of July holiday and everything. And Coach talked about, we spent time talking about Nate Ament. And one of the things he said was, because we teed it up with, obviously, guy's super talented, but sounds like just even a better kid too. And he said, "Yeah, you know why? He goes, I believe a lot of it is his faith. He's just so dialed in with that." And it sounds like he made references himself to that yesterday, and it's like right back at you, Coach. That's why he loved the prospect of playing for Rick Barnes. Was that your takeaway?
Yeah, it was certainly a big reason for it. Of course, there's all the basketball reasonings and liking what Coach Barnes brings to the table as a basketball coach and liking the opportunities you have at the University of Tennessee. But a lot of it did come down to Nate Ament is a very Christian guy, and he wanted to play for a coach that echoed those beliefs in us that follow the program, whether you're a media member or fan or anything. It's very obvious that Coach Rick Barnes is a big man of his faith as well. So I thought it made it a nice fit, and that's been the case in a handful of recruits that Rick Barnes has landed. And it's not that he's only recruiting Christians or something like that, but if you're someone that's very passionate about your faith, it does make it, maybe a little easier to head to college where there's so many different things, new things, and there's a lot of pressure when your coach has some similar beliefs as you and can, I guess, help you with your religion and things like that. So it certainly did play a role in Nate Ament's recruitment, and a few other guys on the roster that have either are going to be big impacts this year or in the past have made big impacts for Tennessee.
Coach Gainey talked about Jacoby Gillespie just kind of as a player and a person, and said maybe he's even been a little bit more as a player than what they kind of thought he was going to be, but maybe that next step for him is kind of being a little bit more of a vocal leader on the court and kind of being that floor general, I guess you could say, that Zakai Ziegler did such a good job of. Do you feel like that is just kind of maybe the final piece of the puzzle of his game, knowing how talented of a player he is, and now just kind of weaving that talent in with kind of the leadership aspects of his game and being able to be a leader on this team?
I think so, because they obviously had very installed leadership when it was Santiago Vescovi and Josiah Jordan-James, which were there for 5 years, and then they handed the baton to Jemai Meshack and Zakai Ziegler, who honestly were leaders alongside those two when they shared the court together in those final few years. So they had that installed leadership already. Now, those guys that you looked at as, the voice in the locker room, the voice at practice, when you watch a Tennessee basketball practice a year ago, Jemai Meshack is literally another coach on the floor. It's not even an expression of he's just a smart guy. He is literally stopping practice himself and directing guys and saying, you did this. Like, he is literally another coach on the floor, and you don't have that this year. So they need someone to step up, and it probably won't be to the same extent as Jemai or maybe even Zakai. It'll be in their own different ways, because as Justin Gainey said, you can't just replicate what those guys did. You have to be yourself in terms of having your voice on the team. But Jacoby Gillespie is going to be someone that's going to have to do that, because you could look to some of those guys that have been there longer, but it just feels like as the point guard of the team, it would make a lot of sense that senior point guard would be at least one of multiple voices in the room. So they really like what he does on the floor. He can shoot the ball lights out. Like, it is incredible. And he's going to be, I think, a fan favorite at Tennessee and be really productive. It's just they're going to need him to take that little bit of a step. But at the same time, I think the timing of it all makes sense. You want to get your feet wet in that initial string of practices, really integrate yourself into the team. Let the other guys get to know you, understand that you're real. Similar situation with Joey Aguilar, I think. If you walk in day one and you start yelling at guys and doing this, I think guys will look at you a little strange. You need to show everyone who you are first, and then as things progress and as the season gets a little closer, that's when I think you step into a little bit more of a leadership role once you've proven yourself.
Talking with Ryan Silvia with Rocky Top Insider. Some video floating around that you may have seen regarding JP Estrella, showing him working out, and kid looks good, man. It doesn't look like it looks like it was maybe up in the Northeast, but but I don't know, maybe he was not here and he's just getting back for classes or something. Maybe he took a little break. But was there anything that was brought up yesterday from Coach Gainey, or was there any conversation about the development of JP? Because that's obviously going to be a big piece to this team as to how he can kind of bounce back.
JP wasn't, explicitly brought up yesterday, but we've seen him at some of these practices, and he hasn't been 100% full go, because he's still, starting to recover from that foot injury. But certainly in that, I guess, kind of highlight training video, he looked pretty full go. Like, he didn't look like there was any impediment in his movement or anything like that. And really it comes down to, I think he's probably the most talented offensive post player they have. Like, in terms of if you want to dump the ball in the post and tell him to go get a bucket, I think JP Estrella is your best bet. It looks like Para can do it to a certain extent, but he's more of kind of that lob threat that, get it down there and immediately go up with the ball, or like to catch a lob. Well, JP, I think, maybe has a little bit deeper of a bag in terms of post moves and things like that. So that could play a valuable role. It ties into a lineup that Justin Gainey talked about yesterday, and that we've seen them try to sprinkle in at times during practice, where they're flirting with the idea of playing some real, like, jumbo size basketball, where you'd have a point guard, let's say Jacoby Gillespie at the 1, slide Nate Amen down to the 2, which is just unbelievable size for that position. Cade Phillips then slides to the 3, and then, pick your forwards, whether it's Jalen Carey at the 4, JP or Felix at the 5. They'll have to tinker with some things there and see exactly what works out, but he could play a role in a lineup like that too, where they would just have ridiculous size. You'll have to kind of figure out the offensive piece, which is why I think JP would work, because you can maybe try to use him as an offensive weapon down low in that type of lineup, but the defensive upside with that is just absolutely insane.
I know that we didn't exactly get the most in-depth conversation with Clarence Masamba yesterday, but what's kind of your top line views on him? Just talking to him for a few minutes, and kind of what do you kind of expect that learning curve for him to be? Maybe going from international basketball to now heading into the SEC, and maybe some kind of pros and cons to his game that he's going to have to to learn a little bit more about the SEC, but also maybe some things that international basketball are going to be able to kind of help him out throughout his development.
It was a bit tough because he hasn't been able to actually practice with the team yet. So, you can't ask him about, it's like, hey, what's your first Rick Barnes moment and things like that. He has a taste of it, but he doesn't have the actual full team practice type of atmosphere to fully ask him about yet. But he did talk about what he brings to the table. And he said he's a two-way guy. He can space the floor. He can shoot. He knows there's room to grow in those areas on offense. He's also a really good defender. And I think that's obviously a very positive thing to have coming into Tennessee, is have a very strong baseline as someone on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that makes just a whole bunch of sense of why Tennessee identified him, and also why Clarence wanted to come to Tennessee in the first place. And he does have some familiarity with UT and the SEC as a whole. He played some high school basketball. I believe it was in Gainesville. It was certainly in Florida. So he had a little bit of a view of what SEC basketball and what college basketball looked like while he was there before he went back to France to continue his career, and then ultimately now back to the States. So he has a little bit of a comparison. He talked about that where high school he felt like was more of playing off your instincts, maybe a little bit more isolation ball and get the ball to the best player, things like that. While European basketball is very team-oriented, fundamentals, spread the ball, things like that, which is what college basketball is trending to a lot recently, is starting to look a lot more like those European basketball leagues, which I think is also why it relates to Tennessee, why I think Zakai Ziegler and guys like that could have fantastic overseas careers if they wanted to, is their play style, I think, matches it perfectly. A lot of these really good college players that maybe don't have the attributes or the size and things like that for the NBA, oftentimes they are very effective overseas. But in the case of Clarence, I think that'll help him maybe be a little bit more of a natural fit with UT, is it's not that stark difference from being the best player at your high school and taking over games. He knows what it takes to be a role player and to be an impact on winning, but not have to go outside of himself to do so.
So I recognize that this will be a little bit provisional, but I'm going to ask you a question as it relates to basketball, and that is, based on the makeup of the last two teams that Coach Barnes has had that were both Elite Eight teams, very good teams, just ran into buzzsaws when they got to that Elite Eight game. Based on what you're seeing so far from this roster and its makeup, because it's very different than the other two teams that we're referring back to, do you think this team has the chance to be better than those two? I mean, because it's a pretty big statement, but there's part of me that thinks that could happen, just because this feels like it also may be kind of hearkening back to some of the ways Coach Barnes has liked to play in the past with size and physicality and all of that.
I think it's got the attributes to be a Final Four team. We'll have to see exactly what the bracket looks like, because you're right. For my money, in the Dalton Connect year, Tennessee was the third best team in college basketball. So on paper, that's the Final Four squad.
Right.
I think the only two teams that would have beat them were UConn and Purdue, and they just hit Purdue in the Elite Eight. And sometimes that's how the bracket unfolds, and maybe you should have won a game or two more in the regular season and got a 1 seed, and then you could avoid that and all that. Like, all that is valid and plays into it. But to me, they were the third best team in college basketball. Last year felt probably more like an Elite Eight team, probably somewhere in that 5 to 8 range is where they were probably ranked throughout the year, and that ended up being the case. But they also lost to Houston, who was a very, very good team. So both years, they didn't get any help, I guess, on the way to the Final Four. They had to play that 1 seed in that game, and they played well against Purdue, and they laid an egg against Houston, and that also just happens in March Madness. It's part of the game, but you play the game 10 times, I think Houston probably wins more often than not. But anyways, back to this season, I do think this team has the makeup to possibly be better. It's going to be tough for me to ever slide a Tennessee basketball team over that Dalton Connect team because of just the ceiling of what Dalton Connect could do. You look back to that Auburn game, and obviously a few other games like on the road at Georgia and things like that, but particularly the Auburn game stands out as like Tennessee had no business winning in the second half there, and Dalton Connect just took over and just refused to lose that basketball game. Maybe it could be that this year. It's going to be interesting to see what he does as a true freshman. Like, that is a different beast. I know Dalton didn't have SEC, high level basketball experience going in, so there are some comparisons there. But being a 23-year-old compared to an 18-year-old, it is a stark difference in terms of, I don't want to say maturity. Nate Ament's a very mature guy, but just having the experience to go in and take over games like that, I guess. So a lot of it, I think, comes down to, is Nate Ament going to be a national player of the year contender, national freshman of the year, top 5, top 3, number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft? If he's that, and he's doesn't even have to be Cooper Flag level from a year ago, but starting to trend more towards that, then yeah, Tennessee could be a national champion or Final Four, do whatever they want. If he's a little more reserved and maybe looks more like a Julian Phillips, I guess, where you're still a one and done and you show flashes, but it's not all the way there, then yeah, maybe it is a step back in their Sweet 16 team. For my money, though, I would bet towards him being more of a generational player. Everything we've seen at practices so far points to him just being a tough shot maker, a very smart player. He knows where he needs to be already. He seems like he fits the offense well. They're going to run some offense through him. It just seems like a perfect storm for Tennessee to have at least another Elite Eight run. And then once you're there, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're a 1 seed this time, and they get that first 1 seed. They don't have to run into a buzzsaw. Or maybe they're a 2 or 3 seed, and they finally get over that hump. You'll have to see exactly what happens. So I certainly think the ceiling there is of a national champion. I think you could argue that.
Does the delay of Ethan Berg getting to campus worry you at all, or do you kind of fall more into the camp of, hey, he's able to play at a high level, still playing with the international team, and just a guy that has got professional experience kind of under his belt, a guy that already has a pretty decent frame to him, not more of like a Masamba who maybe needs to put on a few pounds kind of in the weight room and stuff like that? Did you fall more into the camp of kind of trusting his experience and what he is at this age, or do you still kind of would like to see him be able to kind of get acclimated into the program a little bit quicker?
Definitely not great, I guess, in terms of him getting ready to go. Like, you would want him to be on campus right now when Clarence gets here. And of course, you'd want them both to be on campus prior to that and all. Like, that's obvious, but I'm not going to panic about it. I still think he could be an impact this year. We've seen guys come in, and it's going to be more pressure, I guess, to get ready and to play high-level basketball. But Santiago Vescri didn't come in until like halfway through the year, and he came in the middle of SEC play, and he wasn't a generational talent as a freshman, but he was very effective. He hit some big shots. He had a lot to learn on the defensive end, but he was an effective SEC basketball guard as a true freshman coming in without an off season. So it's definitely something that they can do, and I think him having a leg up in terms of his age can help, and being a professional basketball player and having to play in those team formats and doing all those different types of things, I think that will lend itself to helping. But even Justin Gainey yesterday talked about, like, you just kind of have to wait and see what happens. Like, you can make all the excuses you want for it to be good and for it to work out. You could also make the excuses of are there going to be language barriers? Are there going to be different things about adjusting to Tennessee in America that could put a wrench into things? You have to wait and see exactly how that plays out. But I do like the fact that he's an older guy. I think that will help him and give him a leg up in terms of getting ready under a short time frame to contribute. Because Tennessee, whether it's Clarence Masamba, whether it's Troy Henderson, whether it's Bishop Boswell, whether it's Ethan Berg, they're going to need at least one of those guys to step up and be able to play good basketball this year, because they just don't have as much depth in the backcourt as they do in the front court.
Ryan, as always, appreciate you spending time with us. So what's next week look like for you? Because, we talk about the football team going into game week mode. Guess it'll happen for you guys too. I mean, there's still only so much you're going to see up until the Syracuse game, but it feels like it gets real for you all next week.
Yeah, next week we'll get, the depth chart will come out, which only tells you so much. I mean, Joey Aguilar will be bolded as the starter, but the entire roster might be bolded after him as well, just because Josh Heupel doesn't love to reveal who his starting guys actually are on those depth charts. But that's always interesting to look at. And then we'll talk to Josh Heupel to get things started, talk to some players, and then presumably talk to some assistant coaches. Probably, if I had to guess, we haven't got the schedule yet. If I had to guess, we'll probably talk to the coordinators again, at least one of them, and get an insight on what their preparation for Syracuse is. And then it's also a time where Tennessee's turning the page to actually scouting Syracuse. Of course, they're keeping tabs and things like that, but it's full game week, full scouting, full beat Syracuse mode. So it'll be cool to hear what their perspective on that game is. But then also on the other side, I'll be interested to listen to that Fran Brown presser and hear what he has to say about Tennessee, hear what those players have to say about Tennessee and kind of their mentality going into it. So business as usual in terms of getting a bunch of content up on RockTopInsider.com, but it'll be maybe ramped up in terms of its game week, and it's some really interesting stuff to read about.
We'll look forward to it, man. Again, appreciate you hopping on with us, giving us a little insight on what you saw with basketball. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Go work on your athletic endeavors. You got to take Chump down on something, man. All right.
Yeah. If I'm not telling you that I beat Chumpert at something right before I hop on next time, I'm going to be pretty mad at myself. So I'm going to have to watch some film or something and get this fixed. But thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, Ryan.
Let's hit a break. When we return, let's talk just a little bit about Tennessee football and Joey Aguilar. He met with the press yesterday for really the first time of any length, and I think the vibes were good. We'll talk about it when we return. Stick around. You are listening to Under Review, and it's Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to Fan Run Radio, the sports humans.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Little Tennessee football talk with a bright light on Joey Aguilar, who spent some time with the media yesterday. It was the first extended time where the media had some access to Joey now that he's QB1 for the team. And I think the highlights here, what, you know, I read and listened to what he had to say. Guy feels like a leader to me. That's my big takeaway. You know, he talked about, you know, when he was asked about getting that starting job, he focused a lot on how tough the competition was. That we have good alternatives, not just him, but Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre. Talked about his teammates. Sam, my takeaway was just more like, this is a guy who understands. Think about his journey from App State to UCLA. UCLA kind of says, hey, man, we got this other kid. I'm not sure we want you. And then he ends up at Tennessee. Now he's a starter. I don't think it's lost on him. Like, this is a special opportunity. And I just felt like there was some some like gratitude and just grace in general with how he handled stuff yesterday. And man, that made me feel good about him.
Absolutely. And like, maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid of my new quarterback and I'm riding and dying for my new team type of thing. But I don't know, it just felt a lot more authentic maybe than what you were getting from Nico last year. And that's not saying that Nico was a bad guy, but I do just feel like based on that, short 10 minutes that you got with Aguilar yesterday, it just, it felt like he can maybe relate to the fans a little bit more. And it's a guy that has been a hard worker his whole life and has said that, nothing's been given to him. And his parents have instilled in him that he's got to go out there and earn everything that he's had. And talked about wanting to go be a firefighter because he didn't know if football was going to work out and stuff like that. Like you can just tell that he's built to the right things and he's got the mental makeup and he's saying the right things off the field. And that just makes you want to root for him even more on the field. And so you hope that for his sake and for our team's sake and being a fan and everything, that those two things can kind of mesh, because I do think that he is, if he hasn't already, he's slowly gaining the respect of the locker room and everyone on the team. And, you just hope that can translate now to productive plays on the field because, based on what he talked to us about yesterday, he's just a very easy guy to root for.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just, like I said at the beginning of the show, now more than ever, I just, not only because it would correlate into success for our team, but also for his story, I'd love to see him succeed because, again, I'd love to be able to come out of this at the end of this season saying, man, we didn't skip a beat. We were all worried about it when Nico left and what were we going to do to replace him, given that he left us at such an inopportune time. But this guy did fine, did better than fine. We'll see if that can happen. But, I mean, you're not going to see this guy doing photo ops in a G-Wagon like Nico did back then. It's kind of like what you were saying. I think some of that's about how Nico was, I don't want to call it raised, but how he was developed as a high school prospect. There's so many players who just want to play the game, and it feels like this guy's one of them. And
Nico was kind of told he's going to be the guy that, hey, you're going to go change this program type of thing. And you can tell from Joey that he's just very grateful to be a part of the program. And he's like, man, I've never been to a Tennessee game. I've never run through that tee, obviously. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. It's like, you can tell he's appreciating the little things along the way. And you hope that can just kind of snowball into a productive season for him.
Yeah. And like I said, it just feels like there's the underpinnings of a leader there, right? That's what you want in your quarterback. So I don't know. I came away from it yesterday, and the firefighter thing, like you said, that was just icing on the cake. It's like, okay, this guy's he's one of us, man. That's all. That's what it felt like. Brett, any thoughts on what Joey had to say yesterday and how to make you feel?
Yeah, it's taking me time to get into this guy because, it just felt like he had to come here. Like, we had to bring him here. We never developed a relationship. It's just this whole Nico thing. Knew we couldn't go into the season with two quarterbacks. We had to have a third, and worked out this way. But yeah, it was great hearing his backstory and kind of where he's come from and things like that. And like you said, I can't say anything more than y'all have said. Now it's it's the real deal's here, and hopefully he's ready for some big time football stuff he's never experienced. So yeah, good luck to him.
I think what my other takeaway is for a kid like that, I don't think he'll be somebody that's like overwhelmed by the stage. And that doesn't mean he won't, throw the ball away or something like that. As a matter of fact, because he's not overwhelmed by the stage, he might be a little more, I don't want to use the term reckless, but he might take more chances. Those are the things we've talked about. There could be some payoff to that too. You talk to Russell Smith. Russell's like, man, let him sling it. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Josh probably feels that way, but history says he doesn't. But we'll see. I just think I don't think he's a guy. We were talking about that Elite Eight game with Purdue and Tennessee, and I was talking with Chris Lowe the other day, and Chris was sitting right behind the Tennessee bench in that game, and he said he could see it. He goes, I could see fear in Jonas Adu's eyes. He goes, you could just see it, man. He goes, that was before the game even started. And we saw it then when it was on the court. My point in all that is I just don't think Joey's that kind of guy. Somebody who's, feels like he's had to scratch and claw for what he's gotten so far. I just think he's going to be trying like hell to make sure he succeeds rather than get intimidated or anything else. So I hope we'll find out against Georgia for sure. That'll be a true test if we have him at QB1 still at that point. All right, boys, that wraps up hour one. When we come back in hour two, we're going to take another preview of an SEC opponent of consequence. That's the Oklahoma Sooners. A lot to unpack there, man. They got a lot of new players coming in. They've got a little air of desperation about them this year. Is that good or bad? We'll preview Oklahoma football in hour two when we return. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach. And that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hour 2 of Under Review starts now.
Fan Run Radio. It's under review. You've got Bob and Brett and Sam here on a Thursday. We appreciate you hanging with us. Let us know what's on your mind. You can text us or you can call us. Same number works for both paths. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. You can also interact with us at Fox Sports Knox. Let us know what's on your mind as far as this basketball team, what we talked about with Ryan Silvia. Does this basketball team at first blush have the makeup of a team that could actually be better than the last two seasons of Vol basketball that we've had, which were pretty damn good? Or also, what's on your mind with what you heard maybe from Joey Aguilar yesterday? Does that make you feel like this is a guy worth rooting for? Of course, got to still show it on the field, but it just feels like that guy is, like I said earlier, one of us. But let us know what's on your mind with that. Quick programming note. Later today, The Drive, Russell Smith and the boys will be coming to you live from Barley's down in the Old City. And you hear the commercials here about Barley's. Great, great place. They also have Thursday night sports trivia. I think the boys might stick around and do a little trivia. I think John and Cody might be down there partaking. Sam, I know you've done it from time to time too, right?
Yeah, we normally get a group down there and go.
Yeah. So I cannot tonight, unfortunately. I'm like wall to wall. This week's been brutal, but nobody cares about that. Anyway, back to Barley's. Great food, great variety of beers, fun setting. Can't go wrong. Start to celebrate the fact that football is almost in our lives again. Play a little sports trivia, meet some of the Fan Run guys. Again, check out The Drive today, 3 to 6 p.m. down at Barley's in the Old City. Our preview of the SEC continues with, again, a laser focus on what we identified as the 5 most significant opponents that Tennessee has in the SEC this season. We've already talked this week about Georgia, who's coming here, and it's hard to believe, man, in a little over 3 weeks. Is that right, Sam? I think maybe it's
like 4.
Might be 4. September 13th.
Yeah.
That's a little over 3, man.
Sooner than we know.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So we talked about Georgia. We talked about Arkansas. Yesterday, talked about Florida. Still got to talk about Alabama. That's tomorrow. But today, we're talking about the Oklahoma Sooners, which we've played them before when they were in the Big 12, but we also played them last season in their inaugural season in the SEC. I got to say, as far as Oklahoma football, this is a big season because last season the Sooners finished 6-7. And that was after a 3-0 start to the season because things got tough for them then. After that 3-0 start, the Sooners lost 4 of 5. One of those losses was to us in Norman when Tennessee rolled in and took Oklahoma's cookies. And those losses, by the way, because even if you look at the final score, it might be misleading to some, and maybe some Oklahoma fans were trying to cope and believe that it was a close game. It really was not a close game. I mean, Tennessee, it's very well known by now that Tennessee saw that Oklahoma had a pretty good defense. They just decided to kind of turn off the steam and just kind of protect the ball and let the clock run, et cetera. Tennessee was in charge by and large throughout that game. And then they got smoked in some other conference games too. Really, the only bright spot, Sam, for Oklahoma in their SEC run, their maiden voyage, they were 2-6 in conference play last season. But what they did do was manhandle Alabama at home late in the season, and that actually kept them in the mix to be a bowl-eligible team too. But tough first season for Oklahoma in the SEC.
Very tough. I mean, I think a lot of the struggles last year offensively, couldn't keep the quarterback upright. Quarterback couldn't exactly get it to his wide receivers. Wide receivers weren't healthy. There was a myriad of problems over there on the Oklahoma offensive side of the ball. And, they go in and aggressively try to change the kind of the narrative there. And you go in and you get John Mateer out of the portal, a guy over at Washington State that as a quarterback led the nation in total touchdowns. And then you get a guy like Jaden Ott, who's a difference maker in your backfield. And, you hope that some of these returning wide receivers can stay healthy. And, you've got an offensive line that you would expect can't get much worse maybe than last year, given how many sacks that they gave up. But yeah, I mean, I think for this year with Oklahoma, you're betting a lot on just kind of the what if portion of it and what's going to come on paper, because there's not a whole lot of, hey, we've got, like we were kind of talking about yesterday with Florida, like they've got 13 starters returning total on both sides of the ball. And, you feel good about guys that are kind of taking the next step on that roster, whereas
Right.
Oklahoma, you're kind of betting on, hey, can you plug and play some guys that maybe weren't here last year that are going to be a huge difference maker? And it's definitely a gamble. It's going to be one that, like you kind of said at the start, probably hinges on Brent Venables' future here at Oklahoma and whether or not he is their head coach for the future. But at the same time, I do imagine that it's either he's fired or he's built up a lot of good grace this year because it was a success and the offense changes a whole lot. And maybe this is finally kind of the time that Oklahoma can get rolling. But huge prove-it year for the Sooners, for sure.
No doubt. No doubt. And I think if you look back at last season, it all boiled down to a team that I felt, I mean, we saw it against Tennessee. I mean, they had a pretty strong defense. We knew that was the case. But offensively, this was Oklahoma's worst team statistically in 26 years. Okay, they had a lot of problems. They were betrayed really by their lack of quarterback play. Brett's favorite guy, Jackson Arnold. He became a problem, and we'll talk more about personnel here in a few minutes in this hour because there's a lot there. Here's the thing. As for the season ahead, depending upon what you read, what you listen to, what you watch, I just think Oklahoma is one of the most polarizing situations in all of college football. Phil Steele, one of the oracles to many, in his preseason publication, he has Oklahoma picked to finish fourth in the SEC, fourth behind only Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. Meanwhile, there's pollsters. We just got the preseason polls here in the last couple of weeks. They've got Oklahoma maybe in the high teens. That might feel a little more accurate. I think the coaches poll didn't even have Oklahoma ranked. They were right outside the top 25. And then there's some who feel because of the composition of their schedule, there's some that feel that Oklahoma is it's gonna fall apart yet again because, as Sam put it, they're kind of running that game of, and we've seen it work for a lot of schools. We've seen it get sideways for a lot of schools. They're running that game of bringing in transfer portal assets, and they're all talented, but they got to blend and they have to mesh. And there's no telling if that's going to happen. And yeah, if that doesn't happen, it's probably game over for Brent Venables. I mean, look, Sam, we talk about it. It fits the bill for a lot of SEC teams. OU has one of the toughest schedules in the country. They're probably not in that Florida, Arkansas range, but they're not far behind. And for a newer team to the conference, they definitely got the short end of the stick against versus what Texas has gotten schedule wise so far. And that's why I have a little bit of doubt in what they're able to do this season.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to have to go out there and, at the very minimum, if Brent Venables wants to keep his job, they're going to have to go out there and be a fantastic home team or find a way to kind of steal a couple of these games on the road because, you're right. You've got some difficult road tests. You're going on the road to Alabama. You're going on the road to Tennessee. You're going on the road to South Carolina. So I think this is a Oklahoma team that is going to have to quickly kind of find their footing and find their identity and hope that John Mateer can kind of pick up where he left off from Washington State because you're right. It doesn't get any easier, and the flip-flopping of the schedule, now having just a lot of difficult road games, you're going to have to go out and find a way to really be one of those tough teams in the conference and be one of those teams that can go out there and make a difference and, your game has to be able to travel. We talk about that a lot with Tennessee and our road struggles.
Right.
Oklahoma's going to have to do a lot of that same thing this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're the only break they've gotten in their schedule is they don't play Georgia. That's it. I can't really find much else. You talked about their road games. Not for nothing. Week 2, it's at home, but their non-conference battle is against Michigan.
Yeah,
almost out of the gate.
Yeah.
Illinois State will likely not prep you in the opening week for Michigan and what that'll hold. And they've got the annual, the Red River rivalry with Texas, which is a neutral site game. They do have some home games with, like what you said, if there's a chance for them to maybe steal a couple, they've got some tough opponents at home. They have Ole Miss, they have LSU, they also have Mizzou and Auburn. You would assume they could probably, if they've got the talent that they think they do and it can click the way they think that it could, then 2-2 is a minimum there, and maybe can you steal one from either LSU or Ole Miss? I don't know. It's a tough schedule, man. I look at it and I keep using that number of 8 wins is probably where the fans would not be happy, but I think they'd be hard pressed to kind of shoot Brent Venables out of a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how they get to 8, even, to be honest with you. This is going to be tough.
It's definitely going to be tough. I've got them at 8-4, but yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have to go out there and definitely kind of make some things happen. And it's going to take one of those. It's going to take one of those late season wins, I guess I should say, because yeah, you're right. Like, you better hope you beat Michigan because you need to build up as good of a record at the front half of that schedule as you can in the back, because it gets pretty dicey pretty quick once you get to week 7. You've got the Red River rivalry, and then you've got South Carolina on the road. You've got Ole Miss coming to town. You go to Tennessee on the road. You go to Alabama on the road, and then you finish up your season with LSU. So yeah, this is an Oklahoma team that needs to get off to, I would say a 5-0 start at the very least to be able to feel pretty good about where they're going to go for the rest of the season.
I think you nailed it. Maybe the most important game on their schedule could be Michigan, really, just from the standpoint of if you're trying to reach a milestone that will calm the natives.
Mm-hmm.
You win that one in week 2 against a program like Michigan, then that gets everybody's attention too. People start saying, hey, Oklahoma, are they back? It's that type of thing. And playing them in Norman, that's a very winnable game. I mean, Michigan's supposed to be good, but they're not national championship level Michigan. So I think we'll learn about Oklahoma here. And we'll learn early. Because you're right, that 4-game stretch from October 11th to the beginning of November, Texas at South Carolina, Mississippi, and at Knoxville. Man, they could go 0-4 there too, and that could be a death blow.
Yeah,
because then you get a bye, and then you go to Alabama after that. I mean, that's a tough run, a very, very tough run. Brett, your thoughts on Oklahoma from afar? Just looking at the schedule, and do we think 8 wins is something that's reachable for them?
Yeah, it's just a matter of what 8 you want to pick from. I mean, it's a tough schedule, no doubt, but if their offense takes a step, which it should, I mean, you got like Venables and what he has on defense a little bit, so they're in some closer games last year, but like you said, the schedule's just, it's obviously really tough. I mean, I like them to beat Michigan at home personally. I think Michigan coming off those 5 losses, the unknown at their quarterback position, I think they beat them at home. But after that, man, it's just where you find some of these flip of a coin games. Like, I'm not comfortable with them coming here, like that's a tough game for us. I think a lot's on that one. So a lot of flip of the coins for me on their schedule.
I think Sam's right. If they could, get through, so Illinois State at home, Michigan at home, at Temple, which should be a win, Auburn at home, and Kent State at home. I mean, if they go 5-0 there, then that changes the whole narrative considerably, because at that point, if you can go at least if you can go 3-4, you're probably going to be okay if you're Brent Venables. And maybe, like we said, maybe they sneak up and win one that they shouldn't here.
Just reflecting on some of the callers, guys from these teams, we're so fortunate on our schedule.
Oh God, yeah,
because we'd be talking about Heupel and the schedule he's got to go through and different things like that. All the good teams on our schedule, we're projected to lose to. It's just so fortunate that I don't envy these schedules at all, and we might be dealing with this come next year. So it's just because they have good football teams, but the teams they're playing are maybe a step ahead.
Yeah, I agree. It does kind of stick with me that our schedule, we've heard it, we've talked about it, that most of the pundits have rated our schedule as one of the easiest in the SEC, and they're not wrong. If you look at others, these examples that we have the last 3 days, man, just think about Arkansas, Florida, and Oklahoma. They all have hard schedules in one form or another, harder than ours. So, yeah, and that's
because it's hard to know where you are as a program right now because you're underdogs against Florida, who you've beaten last year. You beat Alabama last year, and you're double-digit dogs to Alabama. I feel like we need to be a step farther ahead than we are. Maybe it's the Nico thing. Yeah. I don't know, but that's a frustrating thing just talking to some of these people and what the schedule there is, because I don't know where we are really as a program right now.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, you want to remain.
I don't want to make this a Tennessee conversation.
No, but I get it. You want to remain optimistic, but I get what you're saying. There's just so many unknowns. Even though
Florida was going to fire their coach last year, how are we not ahead of them? But yet we're underdogs, and I know it's a place we haven't won. But what does last 30 years have to do with this year?
Yeah,
that's where I am a little bit, right now, because I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's take a break. When we return, we'll continue on with Oklahoma. Talk a little bit maybe about personnel. Sam alluded to it already a little bit. They went out and got people. We've been saying that all along. They were super active in this offseason. They got people at all sorts of places, not just on the field, but in the front office, you name it. They definitely are trying to rewrite their story, and with good reason. So we'll talk about what all that means and then kind of give our final thoughts on what we think could happen with Oklahoma. We'll do all that right after this. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'spro-knoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Doctors take Field of Greens for their own health. Here's Dr. Ryan Green to explain.
We're like you, too much fast food, not enough exercise. That's why I take Field of Greens. The fruits and vegetables in Field of Greens support my heart, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism for weight loss. And Field of Greens promises your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back.
Get 15% off with promo code RADIO at fieldofgreens.com. That's promo code RADIO at fieldofgreens.com. Product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back. Our coverage of Oklahoma football, previewing the Sooners who are on the Vols schedule. We continue that coverage. We talked a little bit about Oklahoma in the last segment, about a bit of a history lesson, what happened last year in their first season in the SEC, which was not pretty. It ended also with a bowl loss to Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl. Might have been rigged, Sam.
Had to give it to a service academy.
Yeah. I don't know. Navy's all right. They lost 21-20 to the Middies. But we talked about what the season ahead looks like for them, too, at least from a schedule perspective, because they've got a loaded schedule. We got nothing to complain about from a Tennessee point of view when it comes to the schedule this season. Not so much for Oklahoma. But let's talk about what they're doing to try to rewrite their script from last season. Last season, they were 6-7. How do they turn this around and get to at least 8-4? They put a lot of changes in place, man, in the offseason. We've talked about it. Their disappointing season last year led them to really decide to just change things entirely. They added a general manager. Sam, I don't think they had one before this, right?
No, I think you're right. I think Nagy coming over was their first guy.
Yeah, so they brought Jim Nagy in, who's highly regarded to run the general manager slot of the team. Also, Seth Luttrell was a abject failure as offensive coordinator. Good to know he's here in Knoxville.
Welcome to Knoxville. Yeah,
that worked out. But they replaced him with Ben Arbuckle, who was the offensive coordinator at Washington State. Sam mentioned in the first previous segment, and we've talked about this guy a lot, they upgraded for sure at the quarterback position by adding known gambling degenerate John Mateer, also from Washington State. We don't know if he's a gambling degenerate, but he's been in the headlines a lot for that whole deal last week. But the guy can play ball for sure. And they also, Sam, added arguably, I think I'm trying to think back, but I can't remember a better running back asset that was available in the portal than Jaden Knott. And they've added him as well.
Yeah, Jaden Knott's a good player, man. That addition gives me a good amount of confidence for, this Oklahoma team this year, just being able to take a little bit of the pressure probably off of John Mateer's shoulders. And, you knew that wide receiver room was going to have to be healthy. And, if that happened and John Mateer was kind of that guy that he was at Washington State, you would imagine that kind of the Mateer and Deion Burks connection would be really nice, but you still needed to be able to pound the rock. And so, yeah, Jaden Knott being able to come over was a massive addition, and definitely one that multiple teams were after. I believe I remember seeing that like Georgia was wanting him as well. So a ton of really, really talented teams around the country were vying for his, for his spot, I guess, late into that portal cycle. But Oklahoma comes away with him, and definitely adds a whole new element to that roster.
Yeah, and I now look at it as a 1-2 punch. They still have Javonte Barnes, who was, I thought, a pretty good running back himself. So I mean, it feels like it's obviously going to be Ott's job to be running back one, but I think you're going to see a fair amount of Javonte Barnes too. They had to rebuild their receiver room. I mean, it was decimated by injury last year because if you recall, they had like Nick Anderson, who I don't think did he play at all last season.
In and out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like 2 or 3 games, I want to say.
Yeah. The only name player that they have returning was they expected big things out of him last year, and it didn't quite happen. Was Purdue? Yeah. Oh, Nick Anderson, one game.
Yeah.
Purdue's Deion Burks came to Norman last season, and they had high hopes for him. And I think some of it was just a byproduct of how ineffective the offense was. But he's back, and then they've added a bunch of transfers at wide receiver. Isaiah Sategna is probably the headliner. He came over from Arkansas. So I don't know. I think offensively, you got to believe with the combination of Arbuckle and Mateer, the fact that they have continuity, having worked together already, and then you take someone like the talent level that you're getting in Jaden Ott, it goes without saying. The offense, the bar is low for their offense after what we saw last year. That was a tough watch for them offensively last season.
Yeah, I mean, they were terrible offensively, and you got to think that it can improve a little bit, man. 119th in passing, next to last in yards per completion, 113th in total offense. Surely it can only go up from there.
Yeah. You would think.
I would like the schedule, like what we keep talking about with the schedule. It's just, that's the thing I keep coming back to, because it kind of feels like they're a 9-10 win roster on paper, but like with the schedule, it feels like they're closer to like a 7-win team almost.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because I look, again, to kind of put a bow on the offense. I mean, their offensive line, they have returning players there too. I mean, it feels like they've got personnel. And then the upgrades, we said it earlier, you never know how it's going to work from a chemistry perspective, but I do think it's a bonus that you've got your offensive coordinator and your quarterback joined at the hip. Think back to what Vanderbilt had with Jerry Kill coming with Diego Pavia, right?
Sure.
Same,
yeah,
worked well. So
good comparison there.
Yeah, so I think that there's some positive things that could happen there, but I don't know. It just they got to get something from the receiver room too, and that feels like it's very much a work in progress. Defensively, I mean, it's a Brent Venables team. I mean, that's his calling card. So I think the defense looks pretty good on paper, right? I mean, I remember Mason Thomas in our game with them last year. He returns. That defensive line, they have 3 starters returning, including Thomas. So, I mean, it feels to me between that and, I don't know, Sam, the linebacking room, they lost Danny Stutzman, but it feels like their front 7, they should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to go back to what Brent Venables is at his core. He's a defensive guy, and
Right.
He's a guy that can bring in some talent on that side of the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like this was maybe him saying, all right, I feel pretty solid about what I'm doing defensively. Maybe I need a guy to come in and be a GM that can maybe handle some of the transfer portal stuff and the money aspect of things. And then I'm going to go in and overhaul the offensive roster. And I'm going to go in and get one of the top quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. I'm going to bring in his offensive coordinator with me. I like the Jerry Kill and Diego Pavia type of reference, because I do just think having that chemistry already is really important. And so, yeah, I mean, I think there's reasons for optimism, and there's plenty of reasons to also look at that schedule and say, hey, we got to come back down to earth a little bit. And I think that's what makes this Oklahoma team super interesting this year, is kind of how long of a leash is that that athletic director in that office, I guess, going to kind of give them. Does Brent Venables have much leeway here? Does he have to go out there and just be super successful despite having a really tough schedule, or does it just need to be positive signs and maybe really competitive losses, and you kind of run it back for another year and say, hey, let's continue to invest in this guy?
Yeah. Hey, Brent, I want you to check one thing out because you're good at efforting these
Yes.
things. It's either Castiglione or Del Conde, the ADs at Texas or Oklahoma. One of them's stepping down, and
Del Conte, I think, is the one that got
Is it?
re-upped. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's
The Oklahoma AD is stepping down.
Castiglia.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is you're in a year of transition. That might help. That might help the situation for Venables. Doesn't mean he can go and finish 6-6, but you're going to be bringing someone new in, and that new person may not be there before the season ends. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a bit of a storyline to pay attention to. Just to put a bow on the defense, we talked about the big transfers that they're bringing in on offense. They also are bringing in a 2-time All Big 12 linebacker, Kendall Daniels. So they're spending some money, clearly, to bring some guys in to help fortify things. And so it's clear to us when you look at all of that, Sam, we've said it in the offseason. Say what you want about Brent Venables. He's not stupid. I think he understands, like, man, we got to get it going, and it's probably this year or not. And I don't want to be on, have my head on a stake here.
There's no time to mess around over there.
No,
for sure.
No,
They've
because
got higher expectations as a program.
They do, and they should, right? They've won some national titles. I mean, the Oklahoma offense that we saw last season, when Tennessee went into that game, I was really of the belief, and all I was doing was kind of revisionist history on Oklahoma, because all I remember is those Lincoln Riley days with the offense and everything else. It's like, man, they are just, remember the game in Knoxville here, I mean, they just were gunslingers all the time, and they are nothing like that on offense at this point. They've been a shell of themselves.
Yeah.
And Venables is a defense first guy. Get it. But I mean, this should be an attractive program to draw talent. So that's what's going to be interesting to watch. Do they take that step up with Arbuckle in as offensive coordinator? Again, we keep using that number 8 and 4. Sam said that's what he's predicted for him. I'm kind of saying, I'm not even sure I predict that for him, but I'm just saying that's the bare minimum, man. That's the floor for there not to be total chaos and disruption in the football program at Oklahoma. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's just go through their schedule, and I want to get Sam, yours and Brett's take on this. We'll go game by game. First one's easy, right? Illinois State. That's a win for OU. September 6th, week 2, Michigan comes to Norman. Brett has said that he thinks Oklahoma wins that game. What say you, Sam?
Yeah, I've got Oklahoma winning that game.
I think so too. I think Michigan's overrated, quite honestly, in the rankings. What, they were like 13th or something? I mean, that feels awfully high. So right now you got them, we all kind of agree, we got them at 2-0, likely 3-0 because they travel to Temple, and I think Temple's kind of
awful,
kind of a hot garbage situation. 3-0. Then week 4, Auburn comes to Norman. And who knows?
Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. That's a reunion with Jackson Arnold. But I was going to say, who knows what Auburn's going to look like by week 4, depending upon they're so triggered right now.
I'm not sure they could start Jackson Arnold in that game.
You don't think
like
so?
If he has a bad one against Baylor, you can't take him on the road to a former place, and then he's
saying.
Mentally gone.
I see what you're saying. I think I like Oklahoma against Auburn, particularly at home.
Oklahoma winning.
Yeah. All right, so we still got them 4-0. We certainly have them at 5-0 because they have a bye week, and then they go October 4th at home against Kent State. We know firsthand what Kent State looks like. We saw
just
them
coming to
last
get the check.
Then the Red River rivalry on October 11th in Dallas against Texas. That's where it stops, right? 5-1. Do we agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Should be more competitive than last year's.
Yeah, hope so. Then they turn around and go on the road to South Carolina on October 18th. South Carolina's become a tough place to play, man.
It has. Yeah.
I think I like Carolina.
Yeah, I have South Carolina in my predictions here.
Yeah, South Carolina being 35-9 last year.
So you're going with South Carolina, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got them at 5-2. This is that tough stretch we were talking about. Ole Miss comes to Norman on October 25th. I'd be rooting for Oklahoma, but I don't know. It's kind of the same boat, man, right? Ole Miss is a team. We've talked about them, that they're coming in with a lot of new faces. So be interesting to know what the spread on this one is. This might be kind of wagered at a close game. I don't know. Who do you like, Sam?
Bounce back win for me. I've got Oklahoma.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma as well.
All right, I'll jump on board with you. I'm torn.
Shoot your shot, Bob. You don't have to go.
No,
we don't
no,
have
no.
to be uniform across the board here.
No, I don't think we need to be either, but I'm not sure. I don't see them winning. Let's put it this way. I see them winning one against Missouri and Ole Miss. I think they need to.
They better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Ole Miss at that one. So now they're 5-3. They come to Knoxville. We don't really need to talk about that. We're all going Vols, right? Brett, I know, is a little worried about the game.
Yes, I'm terrified about that one.
I don't know. I think here, with the game being here and the track record of home games for Tennessee, I like the Vols. So now that's 5-4 at Alabama after a bye week. Come on. Not to mention Oklahoma kicked their ass last season. So now DeBoer's got something for bulletin board material. Mm-hmm. That seems like a no-brainer for Alabama.
Yeah, I've got Bama.
So now I've got them 5-5. You guys have them 6-4. Missouri comes to Norman. I think they beat Missouri. Okay. Where do you guys net out on that one?
Yep.
Beat Missouri.
Yep.
All right. So now we've got them. Now we got them. We got them.
You've got them at 6. We've got them at 7.
That's right. You've got them at 7-3. No, 7-4.
Yeah, you got them 6-5.
No, yes, I do. That's right.
5-game losing streak.
And then LSU coming to Norman for their finale.
I've got Oklahoma knocking off LSU in the last game of the year. This is a classic Brian Kelly. Hey, you've got the playoff right in your hands and you let it slip away.
I think I like LSU. So you guys have Oklahoma. So you have Oklahoma. This tracks with what you were saying, Sam. You've got them at 8-4. Brett, you're saying 8-4.
Basically winning their home games.
I'm saying
I have them undefeated at home, and they're 1-4 on the road.
Yeah.
So I've got them going 6-6. I think the road to 8-4 is hard. I'm not saying it's undoable, but I think it's hard. 7-5, I could see for sure. I just think 8-4 or better is going to be very, very tough for these guys. Very tough.
It's an intriguing team.
And their fans, I'm telling you, man, even at 8-4, they're not going to be happy. They're not. That's kind of like our fans. I think if we're at 8-4, there's going to be some fans who will still be perplexed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like in this scenario where Brett and I have got them beating LSU. How much weight does that kind of hold throughout the season? We saw like the way Florida ended the year last year and how they kind of got some big wins under their belt, and that kind of wiped away some of the bad memories of early season Florida. I do wonder if maybe some positive momentum there kind of at the end of the season will be enough to keep him going, or if that will just kind of be the final nail in the coffin.
I'll tell you what.
It all hinges on that offense, man. It all hinges on that offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they can, that's the whole point. That Ole Miss game, that's why I'm so torn on it. If they could match Ole Miss, because we know Ole Miss will bring offense. If they can match them on offense and, get enough to win, then that changes everything. I do worry if a school with as much prestige as Oklahoma loses 5 in a row, like I was saying. That does make me wonder if Venables can even make it to the end of the season, because it's not just you're 5-5, you're losing just constantly. And it is a tough schedule, but they don't accept that there, man. That'd be like us losing 5 in a row. I think that'd be hard to rationalize for Josh Heupel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one here and out South Carolina are going to be close football games. I don't like those could go either way in my mind. Like I really feel like, especially if their offense is possibly as good as we think it could be. I mean, those are going to be ball games, no doubt about it. Because South Carolina's got some issues. We've got some some issues as well. I mean, it's a tough run, and these games can go either way. So,
well, best of luck to Oklahoma, except when you come to Knoxville, because we're going to keep.
They're 6-6, Bob. They may be making a phone call down here.
Well, that's the other thing. And we've talked about that before.
8-4. We're thinking we want.
We talked about that last week, maybe, when we were talking about Gruden and Jimbo Fisher. It's like, I think,
or the Red Bull man.
Yeah, I mean, I just I think don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Coach O said he drank like 15 Red
it's
Bulls
crazy.
a day.
I'm like shaking
when he was at LSU.
One sip of that, and I'm like this.
Yeah.
Then he also said that he'd just put coffee grounds like in his lip. Like he wouldn't dip or anything, but he's just like,
didn't he just have
get a little kick of caffeine?
Doesn't he just have a Red Bull cooler, fridge in all his offices he's always been at? I'm surprised he's still.
He said he's still drinking 6 a day too,
That's
not even
crazy.
being like a coach.
He's one of those guys I could just see dropping dead, and 60,
Bob.
65. No, I'm just saying, because that stuff is not sustainable.
He looks like he's in good shape.
Yeah.
He looks like he stays pretty fit. I mean, unless
Ray Baker.
Red Bull just keeps you fit. I don't know.
Yeah,
it gives you wings, right?
He's nuts, man. And who knows, is there
everything.
potentially other stuff in his consumption that we don't hear about, that's not Red Bull?
Not to switch topics, but did you see that golfer who talked about how he was drinking his drink and he took too much creatine? Ben Griffin. I thought that was.
I mean, it checks out. He 4-putted from inside 7 feet or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know you could just drink that stuff on the course.
Yeah, that was wild. All right, tomorrow we'll look at Alabama to put a wrap on, again, the 5 biggest SEC games for Tennessee coming up. We're going to take a break. When we return, we'll talk a little bit about today is D-Day for the ESPN app. We've heard a lot about it. It's out there now. You can go subscribe to it if you want to drop $30 a month. I don't think you need to. But it is interesting because there's other things in play that make you wonder what their long-term plan is with this thing. And it ties into some of the Major League Baseball rights that just dropped and everything else. We'll talk about that when we return. Stick around. We'll be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and I'm proud to join the team here at Knoxville Smiles, where we're leading the way in comfortable, modern dentistry. Many people are anxious about going to the dentist. Here at Knoxville Smiles, our team works hard to make the experience as comfortable as possible. We offer everything from warm blankets to sedation dentistry to help you relax and make your visit as enjoyable as possible. So if it's been a while since you've been to the dentist, give us a call at 865-539-1776 to experience a dental visit that will make you smile.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
If you're a big sports streaming fan, because we've been hearing about this for a while, the new ESPN flagship streaming service is what they called it. It launched today. It's out there. They were already promoting the hell out of it on ESPN, the TV network, and I was seeing it on my homepage on Roku, and they're all over it. Just in time for football season. Also, the Fox One or Fox Sports One, whatever they're calling it, that app launched as well. And again, this is very strategic. And for $30 a month, Sam, only $30, well, $29.99, you could have all the ESPN services available. And this is different than the current ESPN Plus app, because right now what you get there is select content, but this will also stream all the networks and everything else. I think if you're a true cord cutter and you don't really care about anything else but sports, it's kind of intriguing, but otherwise it's a lot of money right now, and you're still going to be able to get it in most places that you're watching ESPN, whether it's cable, satellite, YouTube TV, what have you.
I'm very interested in this. I am hesitant, I guess. I feel like I'm just conditioned to ESPN kind of hyping up some of these new moves with ESPN Plus and all of this stuff, and then really talking it up like it's going to be some life-changing addition to your sports watching experience, and it's going to change the way you view everything, and then it just makes me sign in 25 different times. And so I struggle trusting that, like, this is the one that they're going to get right.
Well, and you're right. User interface is significant here because everybody has complained about that. The user friendliness of the ESPN Plus service to date has been nothing short of horrible. It's too many layers, and we'll see. Hopefully they've talked about it being a whole new level of functionality. We'll see. There's part of me that wants to just subscribe for a month just to try it out. And do that. And see how well it works. Now, the one thing I'll tell you is we say $29.99 a month. If you really are that into it, you could subscribe annually for $300 a year, which would save you $60. But boy, that feels like a big gamble right now. But the other thing that they're doing right now is, if you're a Hulu fan, you can actually bundle through Disney. You can bundle this new ESPN app along with Hulu for the same price of $29.99. So you'd be getting Hulu for free. All right, something to consider. And also, ESPN Plus, as we know it, the one thing we're sitting here complaining about, that's still going to exist if you wanted to go that route. But again, that will not be the full kind of unlimited immersive experience. You still won't be able to get the networks live. You won't be able to get all the things that the live networks put out there. But you'll be able to get the programming that you've been able to see over on ESPN Plus, which does include a lot of these. We all do. We watch our share of UT baseball, right?
Sure.
On ESPN Plus. that'll all still be available. The play that I do want to pay some attention to as well is the divvying up of Major League Baseball media rights, because that's starting to take shape. That's been up in the air for a little while. ESPN made an announcement a while back saying we're getting out of the Major League Baseball game, at least the way we've been doing it. And they're standing by that. But here are some of the developments that have happened now just in the last few days as these start to, again, take shape. Apple TV Plus, who's been doing Major League Baseball, and frankly, I don't watch a lot of it because, again, it's a lot of work to get there. They're getting out of the baseball business. So clearly whatever money they're spending, they don't feel that it's worth it. So they're going, and I'm guessing viewership was probably not strong enough. So they're getting out of baseball. Meanwhile, NBC and Peacock are going to get in a bigger way. So again, we've talked about this too. Peacock, I feel, is working really, really hard to get a sports angle to what they're doing. And so getting some Major League Baseball rights could help. They need to figure out something because still adoption of their app and their service from consumers has not been very strong.
Mm-hmm.
The Home Run Derby has a new home. It's going to, drumroll, it's going to Netflix.
Don't know how I feel about that one, Bob.
I don't either. It's a hard one. I know sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't. I usually end up getting sucked in and watching it, just given the time of year it is. But yeah, I don't know what Netflix is going to do to make it like more special.
They won't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just another hoop to jump through, I feel like.
Yeah. Here's the big news. So we said ESPN is, as we know them currently, Sunday Night Baseball, et cetera. Which, by the way, I think Sunday Night Baseball may be going to NBC Peacock. ESPN's getting out of that business, but they are going out. All the reports are indicating they are going to acquire MLB TV, which is not that's not the MLB network. This is MLB.TV. And maybe, I don't know what it means for MLB Network because a lot of their programming airs on that app. I'm a subscriber to it because YouTube TV does not have MLB Network. I got to tell you, this is interesting because it makes me wonder what ESPN is going to do with that in terms of folding it into their ESPN app. Because MLB TV, I think, is a fantastic service.
100%. Yeah, and, you hope that they kind of just leave it as it is, because it's one that it's working good already. If you can just seamlessly transition it from platform to platform, I don't think a whole lot of people are going to be upset, but you go in and you start changing a bunch of things and stuff like that, then I think that's when some people kind of get restless maybe.
Andrew Marchand just tweeted out, MLB and ESPN have an agreement to make the network the exclusive home of out-of-market games for all teams and in-market for 5 clubs. I can't read any more details. I don't have The Athletic, but that's
I'll have to check it out.
I'll forward it along to you guys.
This is and that's good because this is definitely an end around on like the regional sports network stuff, the FanDuels and everyone else. They're trying to get control of that. And that's going to be interesting because if they're going to have MLB Network try to host all of that stuff, I mean, that's complicated.
Yeah.
Super complicated. But again, to your point, Sam, I just hope they don't mess it up. Because what I love when I watch MLB.TV is it's a little thing. It's very satisfying, though, when you go and you say, I want to click on that game. They're downloading it, and their speeds are pretty quick. You don't have to wait for it to buffer for very long. But their little buffer thing is not. It's a baseball spinning.
Nice.
Can you choose the market like the Dodgers broadcast or the team they're playing, or is it just okay?
Yeah.
So it's like hockey for ESPN Plus. When I watch hockey, I can watch the Preds broadcast, but I can also watch their opponents broadcast if I wanted to.
Now the part that still has to get worked out is even on MLB.TV, I get blacked out on like some Braves games and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but they'll give you audio there. If you really didn't want to leave the app, you can then get the radio call. So. It's really cool. It's got a lot of functionality. So again, it makes you wonder if ESPN's like looking at a longer end game here, like, okay, we could add that on for another $5 a month, or we could, we'll just have to see.
And NBC and Peacock obviously have the Premier League. I know they're signed up like 6 years at almost $3 billion.
Yeah.
So that's just a huge deal. Like, just showing all those games.
Smart.
That's not even like a year-long thing. That's only, 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah.
For the Premier League.
That's smart. Like I said, they're going heavy on sports over there.
And they do golf, obviously.
Yeah.
Every week, weekends.
Yep. All right. Wrapping up hour 2. Take a quick timeout. When we return, we have midday headlines. Sam will have you covered there. And then we have more Fan Run Radio, more Under Review. Lots of things to talk about. Be right back. Stick around. You're listening to Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hour 3 of Under Review starts now.
Of Fox Sports Knoxville Fan Run Radio. It's Under Review. Bob Baskerville here with Sam Beard and Brett Hollander. And you. Appreciate you listening with us as we have the calm before the storm. We're so close to football, man. Next week, just think about it. Next week, we'll be doing pregame coverage of the Vols. It's all here. Just there for the taking. Just got to give it a few more days. Let us know what's on your mind, what you're thinking about this football team or anything else going on. You can reach us via the text box or on our phone lines. They're open. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. You can also hit us up on X at Fox Sports Knox. Real quick, we're actually blowing up on social media, by the way. Really strong work from the digital team. William Pattison leading the charge with John and Cody and those guys. And we appreciate you supporting everything we're doing. If you're on Facebook, give us a like at Fox Sports Knox. You can also check out not only Fan Run TV, which we're doing right now on YouTube, but there's also exclusive content on YouTube that's available if you subscribe to our account at Fan Run Sports TV. And you can also follow us on Instagram, Insta, as the kids call it, to see some exclusive behind-the-scenes footage at the Fan Run Studios. You can follow us there at Fan Run Sports. Some of that behind-the-scenes stuff. Sam, you've been a part of that.
Good to see some growth.
Yeah.
Appreciate the support.
I'll see
Keep
Cody,
it coming.
see Cody do some smelling salts.
Yeah. Yeah.
See the
Said
reaction
he
to
said
that.
he's like addicted to them now, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Smelling salts, if you want to send in your best stuff, Cody will test them out for you.
We kind of blew. We could have been doing the taste test stuff for social video, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get to see the reaction.
Probably still go back and pull some of the clips from the recordings if we want.
Yeah, except
maybe we do that for our final one.
Yeah, you don't get to see intern Jake freaking out when he's eating pork rinds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll think about it. But
Still
yeah,
got time. Or we can taste test throughout the football season, Bob.
that's true. That's true. Kind of get a tailgate theme, 7-layer dip. But seriously, thank you for the support. It's growing on the digital side of things, and couldn't do it without you. There is, Jake Crane always says, there's no us without you. So appreciate that. Keep it coming. Time for some midday headlines, things going on in the world of sports elsewhere. For that, I turn things over to Sam Beard.
Merry Flipmas. The Tennessee Vols have flipped 4-star offensive tackle Kamari Blair, going from South Carolina to Tennessee, making a good decision, young man.
Yes.
6'6", 280-pound tackle out of Clarksville, Tennessee, ranked as the number 22 offensive tackle and the number 224 overall player in the 2026 class, according to Rivals recruiting rankings. Had been committed to South Carolina, since July. So a guy that I do remember, last month was a guy that when it was commitment day and he went to South Carolina, I don't think it was one that you were like, oh man, this is the biggest target on our board that's gone. But I don't think anybody loved to see an in-state guy from Clarksville go over to South Carolina and not really find himself falling in the state. On one side, great to get another offensive tackle into the building, and a guy that definitely seems like he's got some high upside. Maybe if you're going with the glass half empty approach, I would say this would lock in maybe Darius Gray to South Carolina, and this guy said, you know what, maybe I don't want to compete with this and stuff like that, or not compete with it, but there's just not as many open spots kind of, and maybe Tennessee kind of felt Darius Gray slipping away and said, well, hey, we were hot on the trail with you, and then you went to South Carolina, but now they're bringing in someone that they think is better. So you're valued a little bit more over here in Knoxville. So Kamari Blair flips his commitment from South Carolina to Tennessee. Seems like a little bit of a project kind of guy, put some weight on him, see if you can refine him, let him sit a year or two, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, it maybe does, whether it was intended or not, it definitely will soften the blow. We hear about Gray tomorrow, and again, by all accounts, it feels like he's Columbia bound. So, but now I don't feel so bad, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
A little bit more Tennessee news here. Chris Brazel and his charges have been dropped after driving with a suspended license. Those were dismissed after his arrest on August 8th. Clocked him going 60 and a 35, and then arrested him after learning that his driver's license had been suspended for failing to appear in Blount County Court on another driving violation back in 2024. But those charges have been dropped. Chris Brazel, hopefully healthy now, no legal trouble. Let's get him ready for the start of the season. But good news there is, we talk about the thin wide receiver room for Tennessee. You don't have to worry about him missing any time or having anything kind of looming over his head in that sense.
Preseason third team All SEC, Chris Brazel.
There we go.
Now he's back, and he's clear of the law. So
back and better than ever.
Yeah, let's go.
A little bit of apparel news. I'm sure the people that were strong in the Nike camp for Tennessee can't be happy to hear this one. South Carolina expected to switch from Under Armour to Nike ahead of the 2026 and 27 school year, according to the Post and Courier, a news outlet in South Carolina. So pretty reliable source there. Feels like South Carolina's been with Under Armour forever. They have been with them since 2007, originally agreeing to a 6-year football contract with the apparel company worth $10.8 million. That Under Armour deal was later amended in 2010 with a new 6-year contract totaling $19 million. So they have been with Under Armour for a good bit, but that deal will run through June 30th of 2026, and it seems as if they are making the switch to the swoosh. South Carolina making it a Nike school. Wonder if Asia Wilson had anything to do with this one, maybe. Maybe Dawn Staley and her basketball program want to be all Nike.
Well, and Dawn's been in she's been in a couple of the Asia Wilson commercials for Nike too.
I haven't really been seeing those.
Little cameos in them. So
very interesting.
Yeah, that's
I'm sure the Vol message boards will be like, oh, Nike values South Carolina more than Tennessee.
Well, and that I would say they're not incorrect. I think that's a compelling point of, again, why would we stick around for that? That's all.
Bad news for you, maybe, Bob, on the fantasy side of things, if you're a Joe Burrow owner.
I don't know.
Bengals guard Cordell Volson, who has started 48 games over the last 3 years, will likely miss the entire 2025 NFL season with a shoulder injury that requires surgery. Feel like we're already watching Joe Burrow run around for his life. Saw it in the preseason. You get one of these guys that has been a mainstay on the offensive line for the last couple of years, and now you're going to have to be looking for a new man on the inside at the guard position. No Cordell Volson. I don't think a whole lot of people are like, oh, man, Cordell Volson. Like, how are they going to go without him? But when you're already on an offensive line that's a little bit shaky, you'd like to see, continuity, and you like to see guards that have played a good amount of football already protecting that guy. Now they're going to have to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah,
I'm selling on the Bengals this year.
I'm starting to believe that. I just think it's great you have all these weapons, but maybe we saw a glimpse of what it's going to look like in that preseason game the other night when all we see is Joe Burrow running backwards.
Mm-hmm. Congrats. You kept Jamar Chase and T. Higgins happy and maybe Joe Burrow happy for a little bit, but he's not going to be very happy if he's getting smothered into the football field every single play.
Right.
A little bit more NFL news here. The Buccaneers plan to activate Chris Godwin off the PUP list and have him on their 53-man roster to start the season. only to begin his ramp-up process for games, though, not immediately play in them. So they said he's still unlikely to play until October as he continues to recover from the fractured ankle that he suffered in Week 7 last season versus the Ravens. They said he's expected to start practicing in Week 2, but the team thinks he is right where he needs to be, pleased with his recovery. But I would imagine this is probably... I don't think the Emeka Egbuka draft pick was necessarily puzzling for the Bucs, but I think it just makes a whole lot more sense now. I'm sure the Bucs front office probably knew that Chris Godwin wasn't going to be back 100% for the start of the season. You feel good about Mike Evans still, but he's 32 years old. You know that at some point you can't rely on that guy to just be shouldering the load of the entire wide receiver room. Jalen McMillan goes down with a little injury there, so definitely a great contingency backup plan here with Emeka Egbuka. I would imagine him to have a pretty big role on this offense to start the season, and maybe they can kind of use his production and say, hey, Chris Godwin, we can just ease you right in. We don't have to have you doing anything crazy in here.
I'm going to regret not picking him up last night. I can feel it.
Yeah. Maybe you can trade one of your running backs that you're stashed for him.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm definitely not in great shape on receivers. I could be wrong. Brett was right. Cortland Sutton might have a big year.
Yeah.
Denver. You never know.
Speaking of Denver, goodness, what the hell are the Saints doing? Broncos are trading wide receiver Devon Velley to the Saints for, wait a minute, a 4th-round pick in 2026 and a 7th-round pick in 2027, according to Adam Schefter. Velley, a rookie last year that they drafted in the 7th round. So after one season, the Broncos are able to flip a 7th-round pick for a 4th-rounder. Wasn't really going to have all that much room in that wide receiver room anyway. You got Cortland Sutton, you got Troy Franklin, Mims, you got Pat Bryan as well that they drafted as well. So I think this is just a move by the Broncos front office where they're just playing around with the Saints, just shoving them into a locker saying, you guys are the worst team in the league right now, and you're going to give up valuable draft picks for a wide receiver 3, basically, who is already, pretty old. He's not exactly a guy that is, at the start of his career. He is at the start of his career, but he's 27 years old already at the start of that career. So
yeah,
the Saints, a team who has absolutely no future and just trading away valuable future draft picks for a guy that's like a wide receiver 3 at best, in my opinion. Moronic move by the Saints. Absolute fleece by the Broncos. I hope I'm wrong, and Kellen Moore's just found some absolute stud, but he had 300 yards last season.
I just think the Kellen Moore thing's a disaster too.
I agree.
Waiting to happen.
I agree. A little more trade news. The Chiefs sending wide receiver Sky Moore to the San Francisco 49ers, as the Niners have been really struggling with injuries over there at wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk still recovering from that knee injury. Juwan Jennings, our guy, has been dealing with a calf injury throughout camp. Jordan Watkins with a high ankle sprain. Demarcus Robinson facing a 3-game suspension. Not a whole lot of options over there for the 49ers. They're going to be leaning big time on George Kittle. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey's back healthy. He shipped off Deebo Samuel, so they're needing a little bit of insurance here. So Chiefs sending away Sky Moore. That was a guy that I feel like the Chiefs had some really high hopes for, and he just kind of fell flat on his face.
Sky
Moore.
Let's name our kid Sky.
Yeah. That'll work out.
Absolutely.
Paige Becker's making some history yesterday as she drops 44 points. Tied Cynthia Cooper Dyke's 28-year-old WNBA record. Ties the single-game WNBA scoring record. The most points in a game by a rookie in WNBA history. The most points in a game by any player this season. The first 40-point game in league history on 80% from the field. this is some pretty sweet stuff. Paige Beckers is quietly just having an awesome rookie season. Nobody cares because she plays for the Dallas Wings and they're terrible, but Paige Beckers definitely living up to like she was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark, and then she got injured, and Caitlin Clark kind of comes onto the scene and takes the women's basketball game by storm. But I would say before that injury, Paige Beckers was thought of in the Caitlin Clark light, if not being a more talented player than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
You've got another star on your hands in the WNBA with Caitlin. Next year, you'll bring in Juju Watkins, starting to see a lot of influx of like star talent into the league with young players. It's a good thing for the WNBA. And, if you are starting to care a little bit more about that, 44-point games, that's something you haven't really seen in the W. So cool to see Paige Beckers be able to do that. And she's just got a real smooth game.
She's a baller, man. I enjoy watching her. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I thought she was going to be good. I feel like it's coming very fast for her, though. She's 44 points.
No such thing as a rookie wall for her.
No kidding.
17 to 21.
Yeah.
So she wasn't like chucking. She was very efficient. 4 for 4 from 3.
She's tough.
Little college baseball news. Pac-12 making a big move here.
Yeah.
Dallas Baptist getting added into the Pac-12 for baseball. The school will begin play as a conference member in the spring of 2027. They will come over as a single sport affiliate member. So continuing to rebuild the Pac-12 conference will add Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Texas State, Utah State, all these states. But, Oregon State going to be in there as well. So Oregon State and Dallas Baptist, definitely like two really, really strong, strong programs there baseball wise. One of the more consistent programs in the country. Current Conference USA member. They've played in 11 consecutive NCAA tournaments, just one of 5 active programs to do so, along with LSU, Florida, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma State. So they are a mid-major powerhouse, I would say. Dan Hefner has led the team since 2008, so now they're officially getting up into the big boy ranks there with the Pac-12. I love that move, though. I think that'll be a really fun college baseball little conference there, as you'll get kind of maybe a little Oregon State Dallas Baptist rivalry.
Right.
I like it.
I do too. Yeah, I like what they're trying to do, man. They're bringing Gonzaga in for basketball.
They're like, I know we're not going to be an SEC or a Big Ten, but we can make some fun additions to where, like, I'll watch that for basketball season, where you got Gonzaga, like you're saying, and then football, you can kind of string it together. Anyone will watch college football, and then college baseball, you've got a couple really competitive teams in there.
No doubt.
Texas A&M making some interesting moves, Bob. First university in the country to bring Buc-ee's to campus. Starting August 20th, they will have Buc-ee's on campus. I think this is a bridge too far.
Wonder if you go into that Buc-ee's, you'll be able to, maybe they'll have some of their yell leaders, those super cool yell leaders in there.
And they're doing like the fresh brisket on the board.
Yeah, that's, yeah. And they're doing their shooting and all the other stuff they do.
Shooting barbecue sauce out of like a little gun or something like that.
Don't speak it into existence, Sam.
You said, I haven't seen this whole release, but you were saying to me in the break that Tennessee's adding a Texas Roadhouse.
That's what it's actually, I think it got
first reported by Cody McClure.
Yeah. There's a Texas Roadhouse that's going to be in Neyland Stadium.
Okay.
Which is weird. It's
like
you're gonna get
sit down.
Yeah, it was like you're gonna get a steak,
slab of ribs,
or is it like,
I don't know. Maybe it's burgers and stuff. I don't know. It's it's not like you can just go and get a steak and sit in your seat and carve it up with a knife. And
kind of fun.
But it might be on that one level too, that new level of fan, that where it's kind of standing room and all that stuff. There might be some bar top tables, or I don't know. But yeah, I did see that.
You miss a key play in the game because you got to return to the Texas Roadhouse. You're like, sir, this was a medium. I asked for medium rare.
That's right.
Wild story here to end this thing off, Bob. Someone reportedly fired a shot into Andy Reid's office in 2024 while the Chiefs coach was inside. Neither Reid nor anyone else was injured, but he now sits behind bulletproof glass, according to the report. They said that he was working alone in his office at the Chiefs practice facility after midnight on May 4th when someone from outside the building fired a shot through the window in his office. Bullet then lodged into the wall between the door to his office and his bathroom, roughly 15 feet away from his desk. Shooting had not previously been reported or publicly disclosed until Wednesday. So I don't know why it took so long to come out, but got someone trying to assassinate Andy Reid.
Yeah. That's wild. I saw that. I was like, I don't even know what to say about that.
Think about how that would obviously be an incredibly sad story, but just how crazy of a story that would be in the first place.
Yeah.
In the midst of a Chiefs dynasty, Andy Reid assassinated in his office.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a wild one to end with.
That's about it for me.
By the way, shout out to listener Buck made sure we were reminded of it. I'm glad he did. Lady Vols.
Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned that in there at the top with my Tennessee stuff.
Yep.
Took down number 4. They've beaten
on the road.
Number 1 and number 4 now. They take down UCLA 1-0.
I'm not going to act like I'm a women's soccer expert. If you take down number 1 and then number 4 on the road, we already got put up into the top 5, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine
saw
Tennessee's
10,
about to be the number 1 team in the country after this.
Pretty close, yeah.
It's wild.
Do you follow them a lot, Brett? Do you follow?
Not very close. I mean, there's a couple girls from Bearden that are on the team. One of them actually scored 5 goals the other day in a game, which was like a record that had held since '98.
Wow.
So,
do you know if we were like poised to have a big year this year?
I don't think so. I mean, we came.
I know we're pretty solid.
Unranked. I don't know how far unranked we were, but yeah, I mean, I don't follow it that close to be honest. So, but just like every other sport, I mean, you're not surprised.
Yeah.
Got talent everywhere around here.
Everything's school. Everything's school.
All right, Sam. Good batch of headlines. When we return, we're going to do a little small segment on, we've been talking about it because it's going to be, for a lot of listeners, it's going to be part of their routine here in the next week or two. Fantasy football drafts. The Athletic puts out we're giving you a little draft tip stuff here. They rank the 5 most underrated and overrated picks for the upcoming fantasy season. So maybe you got a draft coming up. This will be worth a listen. It'll be quick and effective. Stick around. We'll be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Take Fan Run Radio with you on the all-new Fan Run app. Just search for Fan Run Radio wherever you download your apps.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth Only Drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Citizens National Bank.
There are always memories to be made with family and friends, and we want you to share your memories with us. Share your best photos depicting your memorable experiences throughout the year, and your photo could be chosen to be in our 2019 Memories Calendar. Simply upload your photo to CMB's Facebook page's photo contest application or deliver it to any branch.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Visit cmbtn.com for official contest rules.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty. and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance, Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Talking some fantasy football. We bring this up too because it's what we call a segue. Sam.
I'm sorry. On3 just reported that Joey Aguilar and Nico Iamaleava are both in the $1.2 million range this season, according to Pete Nakos. So Nico transferred and got less money?
Well, we always knew that. We just didn't know exactly how much, but it's even less than we thought. We thought it was like 1.5.
Just funny to me.
Yeah, nice.
Have fun.
Well
over
played.
There. Have fun over there, pal.
Well played, Team Nico.
All right, go back. Sorry,
you're good. No, that's
just made me laugh knowing that Nico's thinking he's just winning this whole thing, and he just keeps taking L after L after L.
Definitely worth.
And he's going to keep taking L after L after L playing on the football field this season too.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk for a few minutes about fantasy football, but first, you want to participate in the Fan Run 2025 ESPN College Football Pick'em? You can do it. It's presented by SM Athletics. You can go to ESPN.com. You can join the group. The group is called Fan Run, all caps, 2025. And then the password is Fan Run, all caps. Now, it's a confidence pool, and you pick 10 games per week, and you rank them in terms of your confidence in the pick. I've been doing this one on ESPN with another group for a long time. It's simple, man. You can knock it out in about 5 minutes each week. It's not a big investment of time, and the payoff could be big. Winner take all, $500, compliments of SM Athletics, and it's completely free for you to join. Just go over to ESPN.com, check it out. Like I said, Fan Run 2025 is the group. Password is Fan Run. So quickly, I just went through a fantasy draft last night. Of course, now I can't find it. This is compliments of The Athletic, by the way, where they talked about there were 5 underrated picks for your draft and then 5 overrated. And I've committed a couple of them to memory so I can at least talk about them. First, the underrated ones. Top of the list, and this is a good one because I never think about this guy, and it's hit and miss with him, but man, when the hits are there, it's huge. And that is Jameson Williams with the Detroit Lions.
There's been a lot of talk about J-Mo kind of taking that next step for them. I buy Jameson Williams. He's a big, he's a big play threat. And I think I had him last year in the league, in the station league. And it's like, oh, he's either scoring 35 points or he's scoring about 3.
Exactly. That's
and I'm worried that just continues to happen without Ben Johnson there this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a buy. That's a buy. We're buying
That's a buy.
JMO.
That's a yes, that's an undervalued
Okay.
one. Okay. So they had Jameson Williams as one. They also had Mark Andrews with the Ravens. Now, I guess they're looking at maybe kind of a bounce back because I had him on one of my teams last year. He was terrible last year.
Yeah.
But it said here he posted 3.4 or fewer PPR points in 3 of the first 4 weeks, which made him huge early season disappointment. But they should remember that once he got healthy, he racked up 14 plus PPR points in all but 3 games the rest of the 2024 season and ranked 5th in tight end non-PPR points and 6th in PPR points. So I can get behind Mark Andrews. I mean, you got a pretty solid quarterback in Lamar Jackson throwing it around. So this one, Sam, we've talked about it. This guy looked good last weekend. Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams
was honestly like a solid fantasy quarterback last year.
He was.
So like I would imagine, hey, you get Ben Johnson and his offensive mind into the fold, into the equation. Yeah, I'm buying Caleb Williams as a fantasy guy this year too.
Yeah.
A lot of weapons around him.
Definitely. And I will say, by and large, I mean, I know there was some training camp stuff that looked horrible, but he's a pretty cool customer by and large. So
is he a top 10 guy though? Or are you just thinking of because I'm just thinking it's 10-team leagues. Is he a guy you're drafting to be your starter week in and week out?
Yeah, I'd say he's right on the fringe.
Yeah.
I'd say right on the fringe. It's one of those, I think if I had Caleb Williams, I would probably get a second quarterback. You know what I mean? Just like a pretty good one that's not far behind him in the rankings just to be covered.
I know one of my leagues is he'll be on the roster because we start 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like a second quarterback on most rosters if you don't already have a good one. I'm just wondering if he's like a 1A type guy for people, or if you think he's just a fringe top 10, I guess is probably right for him though.
Well,
into the season,
somebody in our league last night had him and protected him because he had him at a low salary.
Mm-hmm.
And then he picked as his second quarterback, the next guy that's on this list.
Okay.
Jordan Love.
Okay.
So he picked Jordan Love as his second. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And Love, man, think about how last year was not great, obviously, but how he ended that 23 season. He was absolutely on fire. So he's proven he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about? I'll tell you a guy who went for a lot of money last night in our draft. Kind of surprised me. I think he's good, but Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, yeah.
Golden. I always mix up Bolden and Golden.
I like Matthew Golden a lot. He was one of my favorite receivers in the draft this year. So
do you think he emerges as the guy in Green Bay?
I think he can.
Yeah.
I think he can, man. He was smooth at the end of last year.
Yeah. So Jordan Love's in there. And then the last one rounding out these 5 for undervalued is the Buffalo defense, which is interesting. I've always thought I like Buffalo's defense every year. It's just sometimes they don't correlate into great fantasy points, but they're pretty nasty most of the time.
So do you guys draft a defense, or do you plug and play each week?
No.
I got a matchup here. I'm going to try and jump on the waiver wire and get that defense.
That's what I typically do. Last night I drafted the Giants defense because their bye week is 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to sweat it, at least for a while. Maybe they are good. And if they are, then I don't have to worry about replacing them till late in the season. And if they aren't, I go through. I don't do it every week, but I probably go through 3, 4, 5 defenses over the course of a season for sure. All right, 5 overvalued. Top of the list, and I buy this one 100%. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough year in Miami.
I'll sell that entire team. Yeah.
Yeah. That's somebody spent a ton of money last night on Devon Achane, and not to mention he's beat up.
Walk-in injury, yeah.
He's hurt already, and they're just not going to be very good, I don't think.
I just wonder if you have Tyreek in the off chance he gets traded during the season and he goes to a contender and just takes off, like if he could go back to like a Kansas City or something like that at a trade deadline.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I'm just down on
I don't know
all things Dolphins
Yeah,
this season.
I agree.
I'm down on them, except for Jalen Wright. He might get
I
get
think the
some
one
run.
fantasy guy they traded, right? The tight end who was
Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, even Jalen Waddle didn't go for much last night in the auction. This guy, I love him, but I can see why he might be considered overvalued. He went for a lot of money in our draft last night. Xavier Worthy. It just feels like there's a lot of promise there, right, Sam? It's just, has he done enough yet to get it? I guess everybody's buying, but I think I need to see more from him.
Yeah, I think when he got drafted, everyone was just like, all right, they got Tyreek Hill again.
Yeah.
Got to draft this guy. And
yeah,
takes a little bit of time, maybe.
Yep.
He had a good run at the end of the year, though, right? Like, I feel like in the playoffs and stuff, and Rashee Rice is going to get suspended.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think he's very capable. I just feel like I need to see a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Philadelphia D, and I can understand the rationale. They're defending champs. They were good, but can they come back and do that? I just think they're.
How are we putting defenses on this list?
I know.
Buying and selling. Like, it's not.
I know.
Neither of those are going to win you or lose you many ball games in fantasy.
Probably true.
You put some kickers on here.
Yeah, no kickers.
I know.
Here's
there is value in kickers.
Like 70-yard guy. What was his name in Jacksonville?
Cam Little.
Cam Little. Yeah, Brandon Aubrey last night went for bottom bid. Brandon Aubrey went that's a lot of money.
It's a millionaire.
All right. Last two on as far as overvalued. Jake Ferguson, tight end for the Cowboys. I think maybe they're saying here it's just, the fact that the Cowboys also added head case George Pickens, and I don't know, there's kind of weird vibes about the Cowboys this year, even though they got a badass special on Netflix right now.
I don't know if I buy this one. I kind of feel like there's going to be so much attention on CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens as wide receivers that you're going to get some decent matchups for Ferguson.
Well, and it says here that this offense will be much more run heavy under Brian Schottenheimer, but they don't know who they got a bunch of committee guys at running back.
They don't have a great running back.
So
I don't really know how to feel about the Cowboys this year with Schottenheimer.
Yeah. I'll tell you who got scored poorly here. Cam Ward. He's our guy now because he's also on my fantasy team.
There we go, Bob.
They're saying that the football scientist who's part of this said, do not draft him. And then they say the metrics impacting his value is low fireworks points. They say studies I've done over the years indicate that scoreboard shootouts generate roughly 60% of quarterback fantasy points. And Tennessee has the lowest quarterback fireworks points total in the 2025 season.
What? I don't even understand what this means. Do you get this, Bob?
I think what they're saying is...
Are they valuing Cam Ward this year based on how bad Will Levis was last year?
I think what they're saying is maybe what they're... maybe it's games they're, despite accounting for roughly 1/3 of the matchups, maybe it's just they don't feel like they're going to be in games. Is what I'm
empty calories for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
kind of like a Dak Prescott always does.
It says that's a major impediment for any quarterback, but doubly so for a rookie on a team that is somewhat talent challenged at wide receiver and tight end. He obviously hasn't seen Gunnar Helm. Head coach Brian Callahan will also want Ward to be careful with his throws following a season in which the Titans had the highest interception rate in the league. Yes, they are holding him accountable for Will Levis then. The situation in Tennessee and the lack of scoreboard shootout potential doesn't inspire much faith. That's what they're getting at.
I mean, if you're playing in like a one quarterback league, it's dumb to take Cam Ward, obviously. Yeah. And if you're not playing in like a dynasty league or anything like that, nobody's going to be looking at Cam Ward for their quarterback.
No, like I said, I took him as a backup.
Yeah.
And he may not be my backup as the season goes on. It was just, I just want to get a second quarterback on my roster for cheap. And that's what I did.
With a little bit of upside potential.
Yeah. And I like to give a little love to the, Tennessee. Like I said, when they're not playing the Colts, I'll be all on board with the Titans.
There we go.
You didn't take Danny Dimes?
No. I already had 2 Colts. I had Taylor and Tyler Warren. That was enough. But anyway, just interesting. We'll probably have a little bit here and there with fantasy stuff as we get closer and closer. Certainly more NFL stuff, and we're excited about that. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we return, Sam is going to take the wheel. I've got to duck out, but I'll be back tomorrow. Sam and Brett will take you home. Got a few more things to talk about to wrap up this Thursday edition, so stick around. They'll be right back and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening. You're listening to Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to Fan Run Radio, the sports humans.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Hungry for some mouth-watering barbecue? Then take the quick drive up I-75 to Rickard Ridge for some of the best barbecue you'll ever have. Fall off the bone, Memphis-style baby back ribs, slow-smoked chicken thighs, and fresh hand-cut steaks. Rickard Ridge has something for everyone. Located in Cove Lake State Park with a spectacular view of the Cumberland Mountains, Rickard Ridge. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination. Check out their full menu and catering options online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Hi, I'm Bo Cregner with the Cregner Group at Realty Executives. You know, the real estate market, like all other markets impacted by the economy, is changing all the time. And it's never been more important to be personally represented by a trusted real estate specialist. I can't emphasize enough how important it is when selling or buying to be individually represented. Call me today for a free consultation. My number is 865-742-1035, and my website is bonowshouses.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here on a Thursday afternoon. Nice day here in Knoxville. White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, wrapping things up here. Brett wanted to get into hypothetical land to end the show here.
It's a dangerous place.
It's a dangerous place, Brett. I know that we like to throw out a bunch of different scenarios and stuff like that. I feel like this one will get you thinking a little bit, Brett, here. So my hypothetical to you, would you rather lock in a 9-3 season with losses to Georgia, Florida, and Oklahoma, but you beat Bama, or would you like to roll the dice on the season?
I think I would take that.
I think it's fair to say you'd take that.
Yeah.
2 home losses, not exactly what you want to see. Normally, you've done a great job of defending home field, as we all know, in the Josh Heupel era here, especially over the last couple seasons. Georgia really being the only team to knock you off. But yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about going down to Tuscaloosa and beating that Alabama team. I know that you've been able to do it the last couple of times that they've come to Knoxville. But
yeah,
that does, we talk about Josh Heupel on the road too. And
doesn't have it.
That would be that marquee road win for Josh Heupel. I mean, I think that would be safe to say that'll be the best road win in the Josh Heupel era if you go and knock off Bama on the road this year. Would you agree with that?
The best win? Like road win?
Road win.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Yeah.
I can't think of a – I mean, going back to OU last year was a big moment for him personally. I know. And at the time, it was a top 15 road win, you know, SEC road win. So you were excited about that. But then when you talk about it in context and what Oklahoma turned out to be, it's like just a ho-hum beating Kentucky almost type victory. It felt like in the end.
LSU may be the only other game that kind of
That's
comes
true.
to mind in
Yeah.
22, I would say.
I don't know how good that LSU team was ultimately.
Right.
And you did get him at 11 o'clock down there, and just was a different feel. But yeah, I mean,
and then you get the rivalry aspect of it, right? You know, third Saturday in October, you always you circle that one on the calendar year in, year out. And so to be able to kind of have that on them, hey, we've gotten you at home the last couple of times, but things are starting to turn our way now. We're going to go get you on in your place too.
Yeah, and I try and think about it. People are always like, oh, he's got 30 wins in the last 3 seasons, you know, but you really think about it, how many of those are top echelon wins like that you can really point to? And you spoke on 2 of them, or, you know, Bama twice, LSU, but outside of that, like, you don't have many signature wins in those 30 wins. You have big moments and neutral site games and things like that, but you don't have those big signature wins in those 30 wins that you would want or think that you'd have in a 30 in the SEC have 30 wins.
Now, if we're both saying that we're going to lock that in, Brett, would
Yeah.
you say that 9-3 record has you in conversation for, you know, I know that you're not going to be a shoo-in for the college football playoff at 9-3 by any means, but is that a record to you that having a signature road win against Bama, do you think there's any sort of chance that you could backdoor your way into that, knowing that, hey, you've lost some of your big games? I think a lot of this probably hinges on how good of a team does Oklahoma become? You know, like, are they one of the top teams in the conference, and you play a really close game here in Knoxville and maybe they get the best of you there? Is that a big enough hump to get over for, you know, does an Alabama road win hold more weight than maybe a good Oklahoma team coming into your house and beating you? Because, you know, I don't think you're going to get knocked all that much for Georgia coming into town and beating you. Florida going on the road, we all know that that's going to be just a house of horrors and one that is never easy. But does the Alabama road win kind of have more weight than an Oklahoma home loss potentially? Do you have to hope that Oklahoma is like a really strong team for that to be a little bit better of a scenario in that sense?
Yeah, because if you tell me we beat Alabama at home or on the road, maybe Alabama's not as good as well. Maybe it's not holding up its end, and almost kind of cost you last year a little bit because they were an 8-4 team or 9-3, whatever they ended up. So I think you'd be holding out hope that Oklahoma's, and if they beat you here, that's a great win for them. And
Sure.
I feel like they're playing pretty good football to come in here and win. So you would think a win at Alabama, though, that's going to hold some pretty significant weight, I would say.
Getting some news here that Al Wilson going to serve as the honorary captain for the Syracuse game. Does that make you feel any better about laying that number, Barrett? Got Al Wilson on the sidelines.
I will say, I mean,
for you.
He better give us a speech. I'd love it. It fired me up. But yeah, last time I think he was on the field against a Syracuse team. It started a run to a national championship.
There we go.
So
there we go.
Maybe that's part of the reason. Maybe the thinking, the similarities, you know, different things. So you're just trying to pull on any strings you can. And I imagine now Wilson's around the facility a lot and at these games, but to be an honorary captain, man, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather want on the sideline. You know, I love Peyton, but Al's just a different animal.
Absolutely. Just a different animal.
And we know the Peyton effect people have, you know, like when he shows up, it's not necessarily a good thing as much as we love Peyton, the sheriff.
The good news that you got was Al Wilson. The bad news was, you know, Urban Meyer going to get honored before the Tennessee-Florida game as well. That
it's
one,
a thorn in our side, man.
I mean, we come on, Florida. We already have a hard enough time going down to the swamp and playing a good game.
They might as well just pull them all out. Tebow, Spurrier, just pull them all out. Just
let them play the damn game while we're at it.
If you're going to do it, just go all out, Florida.
So now, Brett, would you rather beat Florida on the road or would you rather beat Bama on the road?
Florida.
Yeah?
Florida.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just because you've already gotten the taste of Bama at home?
Well, no, I just don't like Florida's when it comes to football.
Do you not think Bama will be a more significant win than Florida, though, on the road?
It's hard to say because Florida, you could be 2 losses.
Sure.
You could be looking at 10-2. You know, who knows how the SEC is shaping up at that point? You know, are you in the running for Atlanta? Are you a loss? Are you going home from the playoff? Or are you going to get sent to the Texas Bowl if you lose? You know, like I just feel like every team is so bunched up this year that like it's carrying some of the most significant weight, because I still think you get the Oklahoma game and then you get a Florida game to kind of cap your season. So you have opportunities if you were to drop a Georgia and an Alabama game. But I don't know. And personally, I don't know. Is Georgia at home going to be our Alabama moment? Like, would that be even more significant and carry some huge weight down the road? You know, so
I think that would absolutely be the biggest one of the season. I know that that John and Cody were having a big argument this morning about that Georgia game and how Cody's kind of just penciling it in as a loss because
most are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and John was kind of saying, hey, if not now, then when? I just think, maybe you're catching Georgia at a time where they're replacing a lot of stuff too, but unfortunately you're catching Tennessee at a time where they're replacing a lot of stuff too. I fall a little bit more into the camp of Cody where, hey, Georgia's just been whipping our ass for the last couple of years, and I'm not going to, think any differently.
I think that's the biggest thing. You don't want to get your ass whooped at home again by them. Like you're tired of it. We should be closer at this point. I mean, Georgia's, and that's why I'm kind of frustrated going into the season, because it is so easy. And if I feel like it's a failure of a season if you don't make a playoff. I really do. Like, I think the schedule sets up, and you don't know what next year's going to hold as far as the schedule goes. And I think if we were having an Oklahoma schedule or a Florida schedule, I think we'd be having the same conversation, 5-6 losses. Like, that's where we are. I mean, we're projected 10th in the SEC right now, even though we're going to only lose 3 games.
It's great to know that your floor has increased and you're like, oh man, I feel like I can pencil in just about 8 wins every single year. But I get your point where it's like, is it going to be all that satisfying to go 9-3 this year with losses to all your rivals? And, you've got to have like a down to the wire type of game if you're going to lose all 3 of those games. You got to go out there and, to your point, Georgia can't just run you off your home field. You got to keep that somewhat.
And we don't know our team either. Like, Arkansas could have it flying, like Mississippi State on the road. Like, we have that slip up game,
right?
And that scares you.
And you've had that one pretty consistently too. So it's like, if you have a slip up game, you got to beat one of your rivals. And on the flip side of that,
pressure builds.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one to wrestle with as you get closer and closer to the season too. You just start racking your brain with all of the different scenarios and stuff like that. That's going to do it for us today. Appreciate y'all tuning in to another edition of Under Review. Stay locked in to Fan Run Radio. We got The Chase coming up next. Russell Smith and The Drive right after that. And then William Pattison with Overtime to wrap things up. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We will see y'all back here tomorrow. For that is Under Review. See y'all tomorrow.